They never stop. And these never-Trumpers in the Republican Party, they never stop. But we're going to cover it all. If you're new to my channel, my name's Brian. This is where MAGA comes to talk. Subscribe. You'll love this channel. And those of you that are already subbed, make sure that you like the video.
The Steve Kane Show with Brian Craig.
All right, welcome to the program. It is Wednesday, April 10th, 2024. My name is Brian Craig. You're listening to Florida's longest-running radio show, The Steve Kane Show, on the radio since 1977. Welcome, one and all. We've got so much to cover today. You know, the never-Trumpers in the Republican Party and the low-life Democrats, they're never going to stop. And they've got a new scheme going on, which I'm going to detail here in the beginning of the program. And the new scheme is, it's only just begun, but it's what they're going to do. And they've caught on to, they've got the beginnings of something that, if it's not handled properly, could have some impact on some things. But overall, I think Trump will get it under control. But even if he didn't, which I know he will, it still would only have a minor impact. But it shows you how desperate they are. And what I'm talking about are these abortion discussions that are going on in the country. In particular, I want to talk about what's going on in Arizona, because that's the newest thing in the news. And Kari Lake has come out and made a statement, and a lot of people are confused by it. And I know exactly why she made the statement. And, you know, Kari Lake is brilliant, and, you know, and she's very, very smart. And I love her, and I know a lot of you guys do too. But this Supreme Court ruling in Arizona, let me read, this is in trending politics. Yesterday, the Arizona Supreme Court reinstated a 160-year-old abortion law that enforces what is being described as a near total ban on abortions. This is a law from back in the days when Arizona was a territory. I mean, this is like, you know, Billy the Kid time, right? The pre-statehood statute, dating back to 1864, criminalizes performing an abortion or assisting in obtaining one. Now, assisting in obtaining one could be driving a girl to the abortion clinic. It could be being a receptionist at an abortion place, right? The pre-statehood statute, dating back to 1864, criminalizes performing an abortion or assisting in obtaining one, with exceptions only to save the life of a woman. The ruling also overturned a lower court's interpretation that a more recent 15-week ban ended in March last year superseded the historic ban. Okay, so that goes on. So then Kari Lake releases a statement in response to this. And this is what Kari Lake said on this law. She says, I've traveled to every corner of this state, Arizona, on the campaign trail. I speak to more Arizonians than anyone, and it is abundantly clear that the pre-statehood law is out of step with Arizonians, Kari Lake said in a statement. She said much more, but I'll just stop there. So what's happened here? Well, as conservatives, we're pro-life. I am 100% pro-life, okay? I do not support abortion at any stage of anything. And I'm so pro-life, I don't even support the death penalty. I don't worry about the death penalty too much, you know. But if I were on a jury and it was a death penalty case, I would have to tell them I don't support the death penalty, and I'm not going to send someone to the death chamber. Okay, so I am like 100% pro-life to what some might call that extreme. I don't think it's extreme. I just think it's biblical. Thou shalt not kill. But the Kari Lake, Donald Trump, Republicans, we are MAGA. We're extremely pro-life, which is a good thing. However, most people in this country are not there. They're not there. In fact, even a lot of pro-life people, the reason I bring up my opposition to the death penalty as well is because even a lot of Christian, evangelical, strong pro-life people are in favor of the death penalty, even though I'm not. So a total pro-life, anti-abortion, no abortion under any circumstances, while it's my position, is not the position of most people. In fact, the Kari Lake MAGA position on abortion, even though the MAGA movement is a very popular movement, if you are 100% pro-life, no abortion under any circumstances, like I am, okay, that is a minority position, big time. And this election is about saving our country and our civilization. This is a common theme. I don't think a show goes by that I don't tell you that Donald Trump, and I'm going to include Kari Lake in this because she's a part of it, and since this happened in Arizona, what has happened here is the never-Trumpers in the Republican establishment and the Democrats who work together in the Uniparty have devised a scheme to wound Trump and to stop Kari Lake. Let me tell you, they are terrified of Kari Lake. They hate Kari Lake. The only political person they want to stop more than Kari Lake is Donald Trump. It's not an accident that this ruling came out of Arizona. So what they're doing, what the Uniparty are doing in cooperation with one another, are and they started in Arizona to trip up Kari Lake on this. Look what's happened. They're passing hardcore abortion restrictions to take a very pro-life, uber-conservative MAGA person, Kari Lake, who likely would be the second MAGA president in 2028. She wins this Senate race. Okay? They have her out there talking like she's pro-choice now. They've created a narrative where President Trump and Kari Lake are being framed as pro-choice, and pro-choice is pro-abortion, and they're not. But that's a narrative that they're trying to do to hurt both of them. And it serves a double purpose, okay, in their scheme. I'm not saying this scheme is going to be successful. I'm just telling you what they're doing, okay? This ruling by the Supreme Court of Arizona, this is what their thinking is. And they're going to do this other places, like it's on the, abortion's on the ballot here in Florida. I'm sure it'll be other states. It gets the left, the pro-abortion left, to turn out. They got something to turn out for. Abortion. Overturn this or this position or whatever. Get politicians in that'll do away with it. So it does that. Plus, the secondary effect is there are a lot of pro-life people that are MAGA that will hear Kari Lake say, hey, that's not where most people's heart is at or mind. And then all of a sudden they'll say, oh, wow, Kari Lake's pro-abortion. I saw yesterday this jerk from the Daily Wire who has the most effeminate hands of any man that I've seen that's heterosexual, Michael Knowles. Michael Knowles is a dork, okay? He dresses in suits and smokes cigars because he thinks he's got to put on this illusion of being a tough guy. He's really a creep who's been spending his shows lately hanging around with OnlyFans models, pretending to walk them to salvation, when really I think he's a pervert who likes to be in rooms with OnlyFans models. But anyway, he did a thing yesterday, Michael Knowles, talking about Trump's position is wrong on the test tube baby thing, right? Because he mentioned that in the statement. So, and he is Michael Knowles is part of Ben Shapiro's Daily Wire, and they're never Trumpers over there, regardless of what they tell you. Okay? So this is the latest tactic of the Uniparty, which is the Republican never-Trumper establishment and the Democrats, to portray Donald Trump, and in this instance it's Kari Lake today, as pro-abortion, which is not true. But that's what they're doing. And the way that it's coming off in the media, unless you follow this stuff like I do, it to a lot of people it'll sound that way. And I remember when I've seen on a couple of occasions when evangelical Christians voted in ways that were so self-destructive. And I'll give you two. One was with Giuliani. when Mayor Giuliani was running for president in the Republican primary, he got creamed, in particular here in Florida. And the reason he did is because when he was mayor of New York, he was soft on gay rights issues. And I understand that's a position, but it was not one that was important at that time. Okay? And because he was pro-gay rights when he was mayor on some issue, I don't even remember what the issue was, a lot of evangelicals wouldn't vote for him. Now, that was in the Republican primary, not the general election, and he was devastated because of that. Mitt Romney is another one. This is a textbook example of what I'm talking about. Now, we did not know in 2011 and 2012 what a creep Mitt Romney was. Everyone knows now. He's a liar. He's like Ron DeSantis. He hates us. But we didn't know that. He was running this is after he had the nomination. And I would get calls on the air every day from evangelical Republicans who said, I will not vote for Mitt Romney. I'm going to leave it blank. Remember, he was running against Obama during Obama's reelection. And they said because he's Mormon. And I would say to them time and time again, who do you want to be president? The Mormon or the Muslim? I'd spent like 6 months having those conversations with callers. And they didn't care. I'm not, Mormonism is a cult. I'm not going to vote for it. So they helped Obama win re-election. And in Florida, they helped him win Florida in his re-election. So millions of evangelicals around the country in that Mitt Romney. Now, it worked out well that Mitt Romney didn't win, but we didn't know Trump was going to come down the escalator and do all this. Okay, then we didn't know what a creep Romney was at the time. So, and let me tell you, the Uniparty, the Republican establishment, never-Trumpers, and the Democrats are well aware of those two things I just shared with you, and many others that don't come to mind off the top of my head. And they're using the strategy that kept evangelicals from voting for Giuliani. And you guys got to remember, Giuliani was a big hero in the country at the time, and still evangelicals wouldn't turn out for him in the primaries. And then the Mitt Romney Mormon thing. They're well aware of that, and they're trying to use that to hurt Trump and Kari Lake, and they'll do this with others, with the evangelicals in this election cycle. And it could have some impact. I mean, you wake up in the morning, you hear Kari Lake being portrayed as pro-abortion through her own statement. And I know she's not pro-abortion. You know she's not pro-abortion. And this IDF test tube baby thing, I don't understand. I really don't understand what the hell that has to do with the abortion movement and the pro-life movement, and why, if you support the test tube baby thing, that you are not pro-life. Michael Knowles, go talk to your OnlyFans models and get your jollies that way, and until your wife figures out what you're really doing, which is getting yourself excited talking OnlyFans models, and stop. But he's not the only one. You're going to find other conservatives start to criticize President Trump and Kari Lake that they are not as pro-life as they should be. So we'll take our first break. I'd like to hear your thoughts on that. Now, I'm not saying this strategy is going to work this time, because I remember in the first campaign in 2016, Donald Trump was being interviewed by two people. They weren't famous. I don't remember who they were. It was on a stage, and they said, can Caitlyn Jenner use the ladies' room at Trump Tower? And he said yes, and that became a big deal. Oh, well, Donald Trump supports trans, And I thought then, I said, uh-oh, because I remember what happened to Mitt Romney, and I remember what happened to Giuliani that I just shared with you, and I was like, oh, I hope the evangelicals don't do to Trump what they did to Mitt Romney or what in 2011, or Giuliani in the 2008 Republican primary, and they didn't. So maybe the evangelicals won't fall for it. Let's hope not. All right, I'd like to hear your thoughts on that. Our number is toll-free, 1-888-465-2631. 888-465-2631. This is a very clever scheme they're running, and I don't think anyone has picked up on this except me. Not that it's something that you have to be brilliant. I think this is a very obvious thing, and I'm assuming some others will pick up on what's going on here. 1-888-465-2631. It's 19 minutes after the hour. It's Wednesday, April 10th. I'm Brian Craig. It's the Steve Kane Show. We'll be right back.
Camelback's family.
All right. We'll be back shortly, guys. Someone sent me this nice black Make America Great Again hat. I just got it. Isn't this nice? It was here waiting for me in a box when I came in this morning. Do you guys like it? I can wear this like on the cruise on formal night. It's comfortable too. Yeah. Thank you, thank you. This one here, this is an old one I have. You can see it's faded. This is the one I wore on the cruise last time. Almost lost it in the ocean. Blew off my head on the sailboat. We'll be back right after this.
We use all natural hormone optimization therapies with precision technology to help solve your problematic symptoms. Our family-owned practice has had the honor of serving our South Florida community for over 71 years. Let our medical team get you optimized and feeling the way that you should. Life is too short to be running at less than 100%. You and your family deserve the best version of you. Call us at 754-222-6642 or visit us at lighthousemedicalcenter.com to schedule your consultation today.
Now, back to the Steve Kane Show with Brian Craig. Listen in the Palm Beaches on 95.9 FM, the Treasure Coast on 106.9 FM, hear us in Boca on 95.3 FM, Fort Lauderdale on 96.9 FM, and anywhere in the world at TrueOldiesFLA.com.
All right, welcome back, one and all. My name is Brian Craig. You're listening to the Steve Kane Show, Florida's longest-running radio show. Our number 1-888-465-2631. You're on the air. What's your name? Where are you calling from?
Yeah, this is Richie.
Oh, hey, Richie.
You have your John McCain, Republicans in Arizona. That's bad enough for Trump.
Yep.
Trump. That's President Trump. Because President Trump, he didn't see eye to eye. Okay. But now, this court took this Neanderthal position, which basically you have that same position, and you're even though you admitted, well, you're in a minority on this position. This position is going to take us down.
Well, this it could, and this thing with listen, I don't worry. And those who assist, which means if a girl calls an Uber and says, "Hey, take me to the abortion clinic," that Uber driver could be prosecuted. All right, so it's a pretty extreme law. But look what's happened now, though. This is what's happened, and this will hurt Kari Lake in Arizona. They had a three-way race. They already bought off Sinema to drop out, so now it's a two-way race, and now they have Kari Lake coming out with what is going to be portrayed as a pro-life position. I mean, a pro-choice, a pro-abortion position.
Yeah, that's what I'm trying to tell you. I mean, and when you have that microphone in front of you, and you say there's no, you yourself personally. I mean, there's how many people like you out there, but you at least have some common sense that you're not going to let that control.
Well, I wouldn't put the receptionist at the abortion clinic in jail. I wouldn't put the Uber driver that drives the girl there in jail. You understand what I mean? I mean, this law is insane.
It is insane. It's Neanderthal, man. It's totally.
But it's not about abortion. It's about stopping Kari Lake.
Exactly right. I mean, you hit it right on the head. I mean, your mind works very, very good. I think this. I told you a week ago when I called about this abortion thing. I'm telling you, this is just not going to be Arizona. They're going to make this issue because America is way away from.
See, and when they do a poll, they'll do a poll of evangelicals. Do you agree with Kari Lake that there should not be this restriction on? They're going to have her talking like she's a Planned Parenthood spokesperson, the way that they put this in the media. It's really bad.
I'm going to explain to you my position real quick, and I think my position is a lot of people that will call you this morning, unless you're a Bible thumper sitting there every day reading the Bible, I think you're going to have my position. First of all, I have always voted Republican. There's not one, and you know my age, since 18, I have just strictly a Republican, never a Democrat in my life, okay? I believe I made mistakes because of and the only one I did vote for, the guy you did, the guy that ran for president and
Ross Perot, yeah.
And was a mistake. I did the same thing. But the deal is this, Brian. You can't be so rigid in this country. You got to be flexible. You can't just say, "Well, I believe this," and you're very flexible, but most people aren't.
You've got the people that aren't flexible are losers. You've got life is compromises. If you find people that don't compromise, you'll find a bum who sits in an apartment alone with no friends, family, job, coworkers, career, nothing. Life is a series of compromises. You can't get everything your way.
Right, and the Democrats believe this when I tell you this. They're not only going to link this abortion thing up, they're going to link the sexual, homosexual thing and everything else all in one big basket. They're going to say these people are extreme right-wingers that are against homosexuals, they're against gay rights, they're against this right.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, they are going to pour it on, and the press is going to be right in their pocket.
Yeah.
And this is devastating to me, this court. And I think
Kari, listen, I'm not going to sit here and be a propagandist. Kari's going to win it. She's got it, Kari Lake. Kari, listen, the Arizona machine is run by John McCain's former mistress, okay? Not the woman who stood by him as his wife in the POW camp and raised the kids, but the beer era. And so that's problem number one. Problem number two is they got Sinema to drop out. It was a three-way race. Now it's a two-way race, and now this. Okay, so Kari Lake, right now it's 70-30, maybe 60-40 against her winning in Arizona.
That's but it's not just Kari Lake. It's President Trump.
Well, when I saw this idiot, conservative Michael Knowles criticizing President Trump yesterday for supporting the test tube baby. I mean, I don't even understand why that's an issue, and what's wrong with the test tube babies? I didn't know that was something that if you support that you're not pro-life. But when I heard Michael Knowles do that, I was like, oh, here's the beginning of it.
Yeah, if you're not a moderate on this position, I'm telling you as a voter, if you can't say, well, some women are going to get abortions, I don't agree with it. But hey, that's them. I'm not going to put them in jail for that, and I'm not going to be so rigid. Then we have a chance, because otherwise they're going to not just divide Republicans. They got all the Democrats in their pocket with this. Mm-hmm. So you're going to have a divided Republican, and
yes,
go throughout the whole country.
Yeah, and they're going to start going around asking all the Republicans, and they're going to have the MAGA ones at least, and the MAGA Republicans are going to start to sound like Planned Parenthood spokespeople. Richie, I'm late for the break. Thanks for the call. If you're on hold, stand by. I'm Brian Craig. It's the Steve Kane Show. Back after this. I'm curious about what Doug in Exile, Doug TeNaples, says about this, because I heard him say a few months ago that he would not agree with abortion to win. So I'm curious to see what he does with this issue that I'm talking about. Oh, yeah. Do any of you agree with me that Michael Knowles doing all this stuff with these OnlyFans models is pervy? I think it's creepy. Yeah, they have one issue. Screw Trump. I watch Doug, too. Doug in Exile, Doug TeNaples. I like him. Oh, they're terrified of Kari Lake. Terrified. William Livingston, $10 super chat. It's a good thing Donald Trump has been president. So like Slow Joe, check his record dealing with abortion. Exactly. I know. You're right.
Inherited houses, divorce houses, behind in payment houses. I will even buy foreclosures and haunted houses. Woo!
What time? There we go.
A vacant house or one that is trashed and needs thousands in repairs. Great. I love buying fixer-uppers. Regardless of your situation, I understand that life happens, and I'm here to help you. If you own a home and want to sell it fast and easy, I'll buy it. Call me at 561-570-7070. That's 561-570-7070. 561-570-7070.
Tom Laporta here from Laporta Contracting, Roofing, and Building Restoration.
They tell us we can't. Dr.
Say our relationship with the Steve Kane Show and the show's listeners keeps getting stronger and stronger. The Steve Kane Show listeners are truly the best customers we have ever had. They are courteous, intelligent, honest, and quite a joy to work with. We have completed thousands of projects for the listeners, from repairs, single-family homes, large HOA complexes, and churches, with great success, and every one of those customers are like family. We have installed all kinds of roofs, from asphalt,
Oh, man.
clay, and concrete tile, standing metal seam, slate tile, and flat roof systems. So come on, and let our family take care of your family. Call me on my cell.
I'll be back shortly.
604-4602, or find us on the web at laportacontracting.com. The number again is 954-604-4602.
Hey, my two oldest listeners, John says share with some intelligence for your retirement this time. When you're looking for a retirement advisor, you don't trust an experienced or big caller before. And as it turns out, my friend Jupiter Joe Thomas possesses both of these. Whether you're in retirement or looking to retire, I want you to give local expert Joe
I watch Doug in Exile, absolutely.
743-0999, or you can go to
Those of you that are members, I made a video for the members. I explained why I was not here live yesterday. Didn't Doug TenNapel create Cat Dog too? Well, he created one cartoon that my daughter watched when she was little. Was it Cat Dog? Or Cat Scratch? What was the one that he created? I think, was it Cat Dog? What was the cat? What was the other one he created that was a cartoon? Yeah, I know about Earthworm Jim, but there was but there was another one that was a little more mainstream. Here we go.
Back to the Steve Kane Show with Brian Craig, celebrating 47 years on the air.
All right, 35 minutes after the hour. Call us on hold. Stand by. So I want to play this. This is from the local news in Arizona. The local news out in Arizona did a story. They wanted to answer this question: how long can doctors practice abortions after the Arizona Supreme Court ruling? Isn't that nice? Isn't that nice? See, you can see it at work already. And, of course, they find, well, she calls herself a doctor. I don't know what kind of doctor would do this, but anyway, listen.
We will provide abortion care for the people of Arizona until they tell us we can't.
Dr. Gabrielle Goodrick has been an Arizona abortion provider at Camelback Family Planning since the 90s.
What is this, an infomercial for this abortion doctor that they got going on the local news out there?
I don't want to go to jail, and none of my patients want to go to jail.
But the Arizona Supreme Court decision today banning nearly all abortions could change that. The Civil War era law says doctors can be sentenced 2 to 5 years for providing abortions. It's something Arizona State Senator Ava Birch, who has had an abortion, says is harmful.
And now, I cannot believe that we are even talking about what we might do to doctors if they care for women in this way.
Republican County Attorney Rachel Mitchell is on the record saying she will not prosecute women for abortions, but she does not specifically mention doctors. Maricopa County Sheriff Russ Skinner says he will not arrest anyone for abortions.
Obviously, that's reassuring, but at the same time, I honestly can't tell you what I would do.
Will women and doctors be prosecuted? Well, that is a really open question.
Phoenix constitutional law expert Robert McWhorter says women and doctors won't be prosecuted right now, but he says that's subject to change.
There's a very real possibility, and you have a 7-year statute of limitations.
McWhorter says crimes in our state can be charged within a 7-year window from when they occur. He says if a Republican AG is elected next cycle, they could decide to charge doctors for providing abortion care retroactively.
7 years is a long time, and in political history, you can have a state totally change in 7 years.
So the big question, can doctors still perform abortions after this law goes into effect?
That would be their choice. Again, it depends on how risk averse that provider is, whether to do it or not. If they were my client, I would probably advise them not to do this.
There you go. I mean, that's the local news in Arizona. So you can see that they are taking this to the extreme level, and I'm telling you, it will have an impact, whether you want to admit it or not. Now, before we go back to the phones, I've got some other things I want to bring up. This one in particular. Another issue they're bringing up now a lot, the Democrats, they're starting to bring it up in certain areas, are reparations for blacks for slavery. And you're going to see more of this too. These are all tactics to try to get people that they're losing to Trump to go and vote against Trump and MAGA people. Okay? Jasmine Crockett, who is just a lunatic, she's like that mayor. She's the Democrat Congresswoman, black woman from Texas. Congresswoman Jasmine Crockett has called on black Americans to be exempt from paying taxes when she was asked about reparations for slavery. Now, of course, that's not going to happen. There should be no reparations. Blacks should not be exempt from taxes. But I want you to, you can't tell yourself that all these things are stupid and they're not going to have an impact. Not on you, not on me, we know, but a lot of people don't. And, you know, the thing about this taxes, let's just say that the Republicans said, okay, if you're black and descendant of slaves, not all black people are descendant of American slaves, by the way, but if you're, I don't know how difficult it is to prove all that, but anyway, if Republicans passed a law that blacks would no longer have to pay taxes, what do you think the black response would be to that? I know what it would be. And by the way, I don't want to break it down. Does that mean all taxes? Does that mean income tax, sales tax? You don't have to pay to renew your license plates. That's a tax. If you're black, you get a special thing for the turnpike, you know, so you don't have to pay tolls on the turnpike. Who knows? But let's just say it was no income tax. And not everybody pays income tax. Payroll taxes are not income taxes. So I don't know if it means payroll taxes, income taxes. I don't think she knows either. She's just saying blacks shouldn't have to pay taxes for reparations to get her base all jazzed up. But if the Republicans passed a law that blacks who were descendants of slaves no longer have to pay any taxes, we'll include it all. Turnpike tolls, no license plate renewals, no income tax, no payroll tax, no Medicare, Social Security deductions. You don't have to pay anything. What do you think? Do you think blacks would say, "Oh, that's great. Thank you, Republicans"? What do you think their reaction would be? It wouldn't be, "That's great. Thank you." You know what it would be? Now we want you to pay us back all the back taxes that blacks have been paying since 1865. That's what they would say. They'd want all that money in the past, too, given to them. I promise you. So there's no satisfying this. But this is reparations as dumb as it is, you know it's not going to happen. I know it's not going to happen. But a lot of black people don't. And, you know, you've heard me mention a few times, Steve and I used to go on this black radio station and be guests on their shows. There was this Caribbean station, it probably still is a Caribbean station. It was 1580 on the dial. And it was a Haitian station. Everybody in the market used to call it the Haitian station. I know that's not politically correct, but the Haitian station. And you know, the control board in the production room, I don't know if anybody knows this at this radio station, because it came from the old studio. The board in the production room used to be for a reggae radio station. Did you know that? Yeah. I don't know. They should open it up. There might be a lot of seeds in there inside that board. It was. Remember I used to have that studio with the tape on the windows? It was from that studio, and they had posters on the windows, I'm guessing, because they had a great view up high in the building to cover up what they were doing, which was probably, you know, smoking ganja. So I don't know if they looked for seeds in there. If there's seeds in there, you could probably plant an acre of marijuana from what those guys were doing. But anyway, the Haitian station, it was 1580 WSRF, the surf. I'm sure the station, so I don't know what they do now. And it was Caribbean music, except in middays they had a talk show. And Steve and I used to go over there, and we'd be guests. And then we'd have them guest with us and everything. And they were nuts. And I remember they were talking about reparations, taking calls on and these people were like making retirement plans. Some of them they were like looking at houses they were going to buy when they got. And I remember Steve said, I didn't say this, Steve said to the host, this was on the air, I don't know why you talk about reparations so much. And then they said this thing, oh, well, we're owed, you know, with all their Caribbean accents and everything. They want slavery reparations when they're not even, you know, Native Americans. They're immigrants. And Steve said, it's a waste of time because reparations for slavery are never going to happen. It was dead air after that. They were in shock to hear that statement. And then they said, what do you mean? They were shocked. So in very left-wing black communities, they do think reparations are coming. It's something that's talked about a lot. So when this idiot Crockett, Jasmine Crockett, runs around talking about no taxes if you're black for slavery reparations, as dumb as that sounds, that's music to the ears of many Democrat black voters. I know it's hard to believe, but it's true. So, but that's another one of those things that the Democrats are putting out there right now. You always hear about reparations in an election year, and you're going to hear more and more of it. You know, our cruise is coming up April 27th. It's a Saturday. And, you know, some of our cruisers are coming to town early. I found this out yesterday. Some of our cruisers are coming to town early to go see Dr. Appleton and have the laser away pain treatment. Yeah, I know. Isn't that something? They're from out of state. Some of our listeners that are coming from other parts of America, they're coming in 2 days early, some 3 days early. You know, this is Florida, so there's vacation stuff to do here. And some of them, multiple, are going to see Dr. Philip Appleton and take advantage of his laser away pain treatment. They want to be pain-free when they're on the cruise having all this great time. I know, it's crazy. I just found this out yesterday. You should do the same. You're lucky. They're out of state. They have to fly in early and everything else to do it. If you're here locally, you should have already done this. Pain is not just a part of growing older. You know, the laser away pain treatment, there are no drugs, no surgery, no injections. It's 100% painless, and it works. He's rid me of pain 5 times. Different types of pain, too. Give him a call. Now, remember, with Dr. Appleton, appointments are not necessary, and walk-ins are welcome. In fact, that's how I heard about this. Someone had gotten in touch with me yesterday and asked if I could let Dr. Appleton know. I said, you don't have to let Dr. Appleton know. Just show up, because walk-ins are welcome with Dr. Appleton. His number, 954. Even on Saturdays, walk-ins are welcome. And, you know, you could even see him Saturday morning and still make it to the ship and go on the cruise. 954-973-0710. 954-973-0710, and online, AppletonCairo.com. If you're on hold, stand by. We'll be back after this.
The cold, hard truth. Delivered morning 6 to 9 right here on The Steve Kane Show.
Brian Craig here. I've been telling you about how my chiropractor, Dr. Philip Appleton, has rid me of pain from a knee injury and arthritis pain with his laser away pain treatment. But don't just take my word for it. This is one of our callers who called me live on the radio to tell me how chiropractic physician Dr. Philip Appleton helped him with his laser away pain treatment.
You're on the radio. What's your name? Where are you calling from?
My name's Sean, calling from Boca Raton. I want to thank you guys once again.
But it was actually a celebrity, and I was like, just this past week, I don't remember which celebrity, but it was actually a celebrity, and I was like, I don't know if that's not necessarily a bad idea. But I'd have to think through it a lot. One of the things that they propose is black folk not have to pay tax.
Believe me, there is an alternative. Go in there for the free consultation. F-R-E free. You will lose. The only thing you'll lose is the pain that you're dealing with. Do not suffer. Go in to see Dr. Appleton. The greatest visit of your life.
Give Dr. Appleton a call right now. 954-973-0710. 954-973-0710. Online, AppletonCairo.com. Open Monday through Saturday. Appointments not necessary. And walk-ins are welcome. 954-973-0710.
Have you been to Chowderheads in Jupiter yet? If you're looking for the best seafood in town, you have to try Chowderheads. You'll love their authentic New England seafood, brought in fresh from Boston. Their award-winning lobster rolls, clam chowder, and fried oysters are absolutely delicious. Come taste it for yourself. You will want to keep coming back for more at Chowderheads, located in the Driftwood Plaza on South US Highway 1 in Jupiter. Now open 7 days a week. For reservations or to go, call 561-203-2903 or check out their menu at chowderheadsusa.com.
Good morning, Brian. It's Lisa, and my husband and I received our My Pillow 2.0 that we ordered with James the other day. My week it went free, and they're our first My Pillows, and we love them. We absolutely love them. They're just absolutely marvelous. Yeah, I'm so glad. I got slippers on the way too.
Go to mypillow.com and use our promo code Kane and check out KANE and buy your My Pillow 2.0. Right now, buy one, get one free. You can also buy phone toll free 800-716-4879. 1-800-716-4879. Promo code Kane.
Do you suffer from neuropathy?
We'll be back right after this.
I did, until I went to Lighthouse Medical Center in Pompano. Numbness, pain, burning, tingling in my hands and feet, muscle weakness, loss of balance, muscle twitching have all but disappeared. Say goodbye to your neuropathy symptoms. Call Lighthouse Medical Center for a free consultation. 754-222-6642. Tell them Steve Kane sent you.
We take on the social justice warriors for breakfast. Now the Steve Kane Show is on the air.
All right, our number 1-888-465-2631. Yeah, so here's the audio. This is Jasmine Crockett, Democrat from Texas, talking about reparations and this idea that black people should not have to pay any taxes. All right. Oh, did I lose my internet connections just after I did that big build-up? Hold on. Sure enough, I did. I lost my internet. Well, anyway, let's take a call, and then I'll re-queue it up. You're on the air. What's your name? Where are you calling from?
This is Mike from Louisiana.
Hey, how you doing, Mike?
You know, this is a trap for people, for the Republicans, but here's the deal. Pamela, who's running for, I believe, House member, for U.S. House member, had the right reaction. He said, I don't like the ruling, but it is what Republicans wanted. Republicans wanted this thing to go back to the states, and that's what it is. This is a state Supreme Court ruling.
No, it's still bad. I mean, you know, so that's 3 Republicans now that are saying that there should be abortions in certain instances. When have you heard Republicans talk about that? Never. Rhinos and stuff. It's a very clever tactic. It's working right now.
And it's getting people off of what should be the two top things is the economy and the border.
Well, it should be just Trump, 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 and the lawfare that's going on. I mean, these are the things that we should be talking about. I mean, and I talked to you guys a lot about one of the great things that Trump has been able to do since he came down the escalator is take control of the narrative. And he's the first Republican that's been able to control the narrative. And I tell you guys the importance of that. When they control the narrative, when they set the narrative, and you're responding to the narrative that they've set, you always come off in a losing position. And the Uniparty have set this narrative on abortion, and now we have Republicans like Kari Lake responding to their narrative, and the narrative makes them sound like they support abortion, which we know they don't.
And think about this. You're right to say this is all the McCain machine out there. These people like Pamela and Kari Lake, and we know what McCain did when he came back and put the thumbs down.
Yep.
In the Obamacare debate.
Yeah, absolutely, absolutely. All right, Mike, I appreciate the call. All right, so I think I got it now. This is the lady congressman, Jasmine Crockett, talking about blacks not paying taxes. Oh. Yeah, I can think of nothing dumber than giving everyone who's black in low-income, high-crime neighborhoods big, fat reparations checks. What do you think would happen with the crime rate then? Oh, my goodness. Now, the thing about, this is crazy talk. But what she said there is they're behind. Blacks that are liberal like her, that are in this reparations movement, believe that all white people are born with a trust fund. Some people are. Some people are born rich and everything else. But not all of us are, okay? And I hear this is a common thing. They think that they're lacking generational wealth that white people have. Now, there are people that do have generational wealth and are very wealthy. I'm not one of them. I don't have any generational wealth handed to me, right? But they think all white people have that. So their justification, you heard her say it. You hear that Charlemagne the God idiot talk about this a lot, but they're not alone. It's not just for the stolen labor that they didn't do, right? It's to even the playing field because they don't have generational wealth, which is not true. Blacks, there's a lot of generational wealth in the black community, but they really do think we all have, they think white people are all the Kennedys or the Trumps, that we all have these trust funds and everything else. I wish that was true. I do wish that all white people, that we all had trust funds. I really do. Life would be a lot easier. Think I'd be doing 2 shows a day if I had some Kennedy-like trust fund? No, I do 1. 1 would be enough, not 2. Think I'd be doing shows on the weekends if I had a trust fund? I wouldn't. No, I wouldn't. Why do you think I do all these shows? But so these are so what I'm just telling you guys, just to sum up what I've been talking about this hour. Just because the border's the primary issue, and if you notice, they've taken it totally out of the news. When's the last time you heard about the border? It's been a few days, hasn't it? Yeah. And they're sprinkling in all these issues because they know that the border is the biggest issue out there. When I was watching the eclipse on Fox, and which we got nothing here. I mean, it was sunny as could be during the eclipse here in South Florida. But did you see this on Fox? I was watching it on television, and they had that guy with that Fox reporter with the hair. He was at Eagle Pass, and it got completely dark at Eagle Pass in the middle of the day, and someone on Fox had made a comment that this is the time for them to storm the border. I bet you that these cartels are not stupid. They're all hooked up with China. They're very smart people. I bet you they had a massive wave of people waiting to jump the border, and they were waiting for the eclipse to come over. I couldn't believe how dark it was at Eagle Pass. You could see the sirens on the Border Patrol vehicles. Of course they did. But they used the eclipse was 2 days of taking the important things out of the news cycle, because there was the day of and then the day after, which was yesterday was the day after where they're all talking about it. And now they got this Arizona ruling. You see how quick it is to change a news cycle? But we are not going to let them change the news cycle. Now, in the next hour, there's a bunch of other issues that I'm going to jump into, but you're welcome to call in about anything I brought up so far on the program. Our number toll-free, no matter where you're listening, 1-888-465-2631. Now, I want to tell you, there are incredible deals going on at MyPillow.com, including, I want to talk about the buy one, get one free offer on the MyPillow 2.0. You know why the MyPillows, the reason you get a better sleep with the MyPillows is that patented fill inside. That patented fill inside stops you from turning your head around at night. Your head stays comfortable and in place. Even though you're not aware of it, every time you move your head, you're interrupting your sleep. Now, the MyPillow 2.0, which I sleep on every night, and I have for over a year, my wife has one too. It's buy one, get one free with our promo code Kane at checkout. Not only does it have that patented fill inside, but it has the cooling technology on the outside. So during the winter, you're the perfect temperature all night long, and during the summer, you're the perfect temperature all night long. You'll never turn the pillow over looking for the cool side. When you flip a pillow over looking for the cool side, even if you don't remember it, you've interrupted your REM sleep. It's like having sleep apnea. And yesterday, I was not feeling too good, and I laid down in the middle of the day and took a nap, okay? And I laid down on the MyPillow 2.0, and when my head hit the pillow, middle of the day yesterday, it was like 80, the pillow was cool and perfect. So if you got to get the MyPillow 2.0, it is buy one, get one free with our promo code Kane at checkout. The $25 MyPillow extravaganza continues, $25 for top MyPillow products, including the 6-piece MyPillow towel set, and MyPillow slippers as low as $25 with our promo code Kane at checkout, K-A-N-E. So the $25 extravaganza continues with our promo code Kane at checkout, and the buy one, get one free offer on that MyPillow 2.0, perfect for summertime, is also in effect. But again, you can take advantage of all the specials there with our promo code Kane at checkout, K-A-N-E, at MyPillow.com. You can also order by phone toll-free, 1-800-716-4879. 1-800-716-4879. Promo code Kane, K-A-N-E. All right, 1 hour down. Hour number 2 will begin right after our top of the hour break. It's the Steve Kane Show. I'm Brian Craig. We'll be right back. Okay.
Shops, North Palm Beach. Palm Beach Patio Furniture. Voted in the best of the best patio store in Palm Beach County. PalmBeachPatioFurniture.com, where luxurious outdoor spaces are created.
And now, a True Oldies traffic check. Brought to you by the Palm Beach Kennel Club.
Up to speed on your morning drive on the Turnpike at 95, north and south through Jupiter, Palm Beach, West Palm, and Lake Worth. Lake Worth Construction, Hypo, Luxo Road from Lyons Road to Smith Farm Boulevard. This traffic update is sponsored by True True Green is the easiest and most affordable way to get a beautiful lawn. All you have to do is water and mow. And to top it off, when you sign up for an annual plan by April the 20th, you get one application free. Call or visit truegreen.com today. Restrictions apply. That's traffic. I'm Dory Don.
Traffic, a service of the Palm Beach Kennel Club. It's showtime in the Paddock Restaurant at PBKC with actor and comedian Pauly Shore for 2 nights, April 19th and 20th. We also have the Petty Nicks Dinner Show, a tribute to Tom Petty and Steve Nicks, April 26th. And make your plans for the biggest party south of Churchill Downs, Kentucky, Derby Fest, May 4th, with live music from Sip and Fire, Derby Hat Contest, barbecue tent and bars, mint juleps, and much, much more. For tickets and info, go to pbkennelclub.com.
Sloman's is doing it again for true oldies listeners. Call 833-283-5050 and Sloman's will give you a free home security system.
All right, I get it, Mr. DJ. We've heard you say it a million times on this radio station. We get it. Sloman's is the best in home security. It's privately owned and serving homeowners for the last 100 years.
All right, what else comes with this special offer?
I'm going to show you that I've heard you a million times. Sloman's will customize a system specifically for your home and include professional installation, an LED touchscreen pad, motion detector for interior protection, 10 contacts, backup battery in case of power failure, and you're ready for this? A lifetime warranty. So call Sloman's today at 833-283-5050. That's 833-283-5050.
Sloman's is a no-brainer. Call 833-283-5050. That's 833-283-5050.
Sloman's, the difference is human.
Love the outdoors and the open road? Don't miss RV Out, Saturday mornings at 10 a.m. Hosted by Giant Recreation World second generation owner and CEO Larry McNamara and his co-host Blaine Adams. RV Out, Saturday mornings 10 a.m. right here on the True Oldies channel.
Here's your True Oldies ABC News Update.
ABC News, I'm Richard Cantu. A New York appeals judge rejected Donald Trump's latest effort to delay his hush money trial, declaring he can't get a fair shake in New York City and complaining about a limited gag order. Jury selection is set to begin Monday. Prospective jurors will fill out a 7-page questionnaire asking whether they've ever attended a Trump rally, followed him on social media, or belonged to an array of extremist groups like Proud Boys, Oath Keepers, or Antifa. Potential jurors will also be asked if they had strong opinions about Trump or firmly held beliefs about whether a former president can be charged with a crime. ABC's Aaron Katersky, former long-serving Trump finance man Alan Weisselberg, to be sentenced to 5 months behind bars today for lying under oath during testimony at Trump's business fraud trial. Arizona doing away with a woman's right to choose. The state Supreme Court ruled in a law dating to Arizona's territory days that bans virtually all abortions against the law of the state. This is ABC News.
Honey, the credit card bill came and we're maxed out.
Cards, rent is due. We just need some extra cash to help us get by.
We'll be back in 18 seconds.
27cash.com is one of the largest personal loan networks. They can help people with any type of credit get up to $5,000 in cash can hit our bank account as soon as tomorrow.
When you need extra cash, go to 27cash.com.
Here we go.
27cash.com. 27cash.com. On the air since 1977. It's the Steve Kane Show. Brian.
All right, hour number 2 has begun. I'm Brian. It's the Steve Kane Show, Florida's longest-running radio show. This case of these parents in Michigan that got convicted. Yeah, did you see this story? Parents of Michigan school shooter Ethan Crumbley have both been sentenced to 10 to 15 years for involuntary manslaughter. And I did a poll on my YouTube channel, and it's still up there. The question was, should parents go to jail for crimes their underage kids commit? And so far, over 1,400 have responded, and 55% say no, 23% say not sure, and 22% say definitely. This is insane to me, all right? The parents, first of all, when this was something that was hard for me to comprehend. But parents of mass killers oftentimes are victims. I talked about this a little bit on my podcast last night, which you should not miss. We weren't here live yesterday, but I had a great podcast last night covering a lot of big topics, including something big with President Trump that I'm not going to cover today on the radio. So check that out. But we had, when Tim McVeigh was about to be executed, which was a long time ago. How long ago was that? Tim McVeigh, the Oklahoma City bomber. 168 people were killed that day. And a lot of them were children because of the daycare. And when the execution date was coming up, we had on a woman who lost, I can't remember if it was her husband or child and grandchildren. I can't remember, but she had lost either her husband or an adult child. It's been so long now, in the Oklahoma City bombing. And she was very excited to see Tim McVeigh executed. We had her on the show. It was a big story at the time. And she dropped something in the interview that blew my mind. She was with a group of parents and spouses and family members of victims of Tim McVeigh's Oklahoma City bombing. And they had this network support group. And Tim McVeigh's father was a part of her group. And I was blown away. I couldn't understand that. And I remember Steve and I, we talked to her about this because we were both shocked. And she had said that, he had nothing to do with the bombing, and he lost his son, or will lose his son, but even though he wasn't dead yet, he's lost him because he's been in prison. He feels a lot of guilt for what happened. He's a victim too. Tim McVeigh's father, she characterized as a victim. Tim McVeigh's father. Tim McVeigh's father, I'm not saying that he had any responsibility in the Oklahoma City bombing, but I certainly wouldn't want him to be part of a support group if I were one of those parents, but they did. They welcomed him in. It was very strange to me. And I imagine a lot happens in these mass shootings where family members have guilt. But are they responsible? And I think it's outrageous that parents are going to prison for 10 to 15 years for god-awful crimes that their child committed. The Parkland shooting, which is back in the news because David Hogg, there's a lot of financial questions about his organization. Shocker. But how many times did the police come for calls made to the Parkland shooter's house? Dozens. Over 20 in Parkland and Broward County, and there were also a whole bunch in Palm Beach County when he was staying with some people in Palm Beach County. I'm talking about Nicholas Cruz. And some of those calls, in particular when he was living with his grandparents, had to do with elder abuse issues, and they didn't take the guns away. And investigations done by the media and activists after the Parkland shooting, many agree, and I agree with this, the reason that the police went to Nicholas Cruz's house dozens of times, in particular in Parkland, and there was no action taken, is because the sheriff of Broward County, Scott Israel at the time, who's not Jewish, even though he tried to imply he was every time he ran for office because his last name was Israel, they were manipulating the crime statistics in Parkland. They wanted to have zero crime rate. So if you don't charge anyone, there's no crime on the books. Are those police officers responsible in any way for the Parkland shooting? Because they didn't arrest Nicholas Cruz, take his guns when they could have? I mean, if these parents have responsibility, why not those police? Yeah. Years ago, I haven't heard this as a controversy, but bartenders in bars being held responsible for drunk drivers, which is absurd to me as well. Liberals, they want to blame, they want gun manufacturers to be held responsible for their guns being used in killings. Now the Democrats, they've gone so far, and this is so true. I'm not making this up. You've seen this, mostly in California, but in some other liberal areas. Democrats want to hold, this is nuts. Democrats want to hold car manufacturers responsible for thefts of their vehicles. They make them too easy to steal. Well, I think TikTok probably makes it too easy to steal. People are going on TikTok learning how to steal cars. And they had some trend going about stealing certain types of cars that spring up. So liberals are always looking for people to blame other than those responsible. The ones responsible in liberal minds are victims a lot of times. But this idea of sending parents to jail for crimes like this of their children, and these are underage children, to me seems insane. I'd like to hear what you think about it. I find it kind of scary. And, a lot of kids are troubled. What if you've got a kid who's troubled, who's pissed off at the parents, and then goes out and does something so the parents do get jammed up? You don't think that would happen? And I know people will say, well, these parents did this, these parents did that. Give me a break. This OnlyFans model that murdered her boyfriend in Miami. The Miami police arrested her parents. They went out of state. They got out-of-state warrants to arrest the parents recently. I don't agree with any of that stuff. They said the parents deleted something off her computer. It's their kid. What are they going to do? And in this case with the school shooter, with this conviction yesterday, they said the parents afterwards didn't show any sympathy through text and everything else. When it comes to people's children, people live in a different world when it comes to their children. Their baby and their kid is always the most beautiful, no matter how butt ugly the kid is. Their kid's always the smartest and the brightest and the best, no matter how stupid they are. Parents are blinded by their children a lot. Okay? So, come on. This is a scary world. And also the Apple River killing. That guy went on the stand yesterday. And most of the analysis I've saw and read in that Apple River killing, total self-defense. I'd go not guilty on that guy without even flinching. They would not get a conviction on that guy if I was on the jury. But all the analysis I saw yesterday said he is going to be convicted. You can't defend yourself these days. If you are facing a life-threatening incident, you're better off, maybe, not defending yourself, trying to get away and taking the wound that they're going to inflict on you and hope you survive it. This Apple River guy, he's going to go away for the rest of his life. He's 54 years old, and he killed one of the kids and stabbed, was it 4 or 5 others? At least 4? I've lost track. Does the 5 include the one he killed? With I was surprised, a Swiss Army knife? Wow. So what you see going on in our society right now, things are upside down. In Sandy Hook, the mother of the shooter in Sandy Hook, now he killed her before he went to the school, but the mother had bought him the guns and even took him to the gun range, even though he was suffering from mental illness. And I remember when that was over, there was a big discussion going on in the media for months that if she would have survived, should she have been charged? I'd say no. People don't see the world clearly when it involves their kids. And holding parents responsible for the crimes of their children, while on paper that might seem like a good idea to you, is a bad idea. Now, it's different if if you're Ma Barker or something and you send your kids out to do crime, that's different. If if you got like a criminal family, like the Bidens have a criminal organized crime family, that's different. That is very... By the way, I don't know how many of you know this. Ma Barker, do you know that her big shootout with the feds was here in Florida? I don't know how many of you knew this. The Ma Barker house is in Florida. You can take a tour of it. But anyway, these parents going to prison for 10 to 15 years for the first time it's happened, for the school shooting that their kid did. There's no statute of limitations on murder. Are they going to go back to these other school shootings now? Klebold and Harris. Are their parents still alive? Since there's no statute of limitations on murder, is there a statute of limitations on manslaughter in these instances? I don't know. Are they going to go back and start charging parents of past school shooters? Very slippery slope we're getting in here. All right, we're going to take our first break of this hour. It's 16 minutes after 7. I'm Brian Craig. It's the Steve Kane Show, Florida's longest-running radio show. We'll be right back. Yeah, that's another one.
I was about to say, what about his parents?
Yeah.
His parents covered up for him, got him to escape.
Yeah, that's another one, yeah.
That one I think should be looked at.
You can sell us your home in as little as 3 days or on your time frame. We can even pay you a cash advance before the closing. And we guarantee to make you a fair and honest offer. Our home buying process is simple, and we can make you a cash offer over the phone or in person.
We met at this barbecue.
A home that needs a lot of work? Did you inherit a house you don't want? No problem. We can buy your home no matter the condition or situation. You don't need to clean or fix anything, and there's no commissions or closing costs. If you want to sell your home fast and easy, we'll buy it. Call us today for a free offer. 561-570-7070. That's 561-570-7070. 561-570-7070.
Doesn't, then there's not really a discussion formed.
When
doesn't.
All right, welcome back. You know, inflation's out of control. Prices going up everywhere except one place, and that's Friendly Tire in Margate, where the prices have actually gone down. You know, Mike at Friendly Tire, Mike at Friendly Tire in Margate has new tires out the door and on the road, because remember, Friendly Tire doesn't charge you to balance the tire, mount the tire, or dispose of your old tire. And you know, I know you might say, well, he sells used tires. Even if he can't reuse that used tire, you know, when he disposes of tires, he's got to pay a guy to take those tires. I was shocked because I every once in a while I'm over there and the guy's coming to take the old tires that he's throwing away, and I thought the guy did it for free because he's got to make some money off the rubber. No, he's got to pay the guy a price per tire. Isn't that nuts? I know. So anyway, the prices out the door and on the road as low as $65 for new tires. And these are common sizes, by the way. $65 out the door and on the road. Brand new tire. I know, it's crazy. Prices have actually gone down at Friendly Tire in Margate. He has thousands of used tires in stock, good used tires at that. And he has all the name brands you know and love, Goodyear, Firestone, Pirelli, whatever you like, he's got those as well. Give him a call. He'll give you a quote right over the phone. 954-977-9445. 954-977-9445 for Friendly Tire in Margate. You're on the air. What's your name? Where are you calling from?
Richard in Pamela.
Hey, Richard. What's up?
Okay, I just want to tell you that when your listeners call in, the volume is very, very low. I'm watching you on YouTube, and you can hardly hear it.
Okay. That's all you called me about was to turn the volume up? Oh boy, we've got compelling discussion going here today. You know, there's a common tactic. Well, I'm not going to get into the common tactic of the trolls because I got other fish to fry. I saw this piece on CNN. I wanted to share it with you. It's about the black vote in Georgia. All right? Let me play this for you, then we'll talk about it.
Then there's not really a discussion for it.
When we met at this barbecue restaurant in Atlanta, all four told me they were raised and originally registered as Democrats. But this year, the president's handling of the Israel-Gaza war has turned them away.
I think what Biden has done in aiding and abetting a genocide is...
You know, this sick girl here, this young girl who will go around telling you that she supports women's rights and everything, with smile in her voice, is... Now, I'm glad she's not voting for Biden and not voting for Democrat, but they have created an entire generation of anti-Semites.
Originally registered as Democrats. But this year, the president's handling of the Israel-Gaza war has turned them away.
I think what Biden has done in aiding and abetting a genocide is just something I cannot stand for.
You're willing to withhold your vote in the presidential election unless there is a ceasefire.
Yes.
And it's implemented.
Yes.
Not voting could mean Donald Trump gets into office. Do you think he'll be better on Gaza?
Trump would probably say, flatten Gaza and make it into a golf course. I have absolutely no faith in him.
Would you not say that also the people who are not voting for one of the two people who are the likely people to really be in this play in kind of giving the race to Donald Trump in a state like Georgia where it's going to be like razor thin?
Yeah, no, I'll do you one better, actually. I think that just means that's why the Democrats should listen.
Wow. Okay. So, yeah. So, it's an interesting thing that's happened here. And this is all Obama, okay? This is all Obama. I was talking about this on Monday's show. We had, in this country, virtually wiped out anti-Semitism. Anti-Semitism was such a rare thing. In fact, most of the times you heard or saw about it, a story about it, it was fake. There was a couple stories. There was one woman who was running for office here in Broward County, local office, and she woke up one morning, there was a swastika painted on the hood of her car. And I knew immediately that she or her friends did it, because Nazis don't spray paint the swastikas. They use keys and grind it into the paint of the car, because if you just spray paint it on, you could get that buffed out or painted over. It's really easy. They don't, and she did it for attention. There's been some other instances of it. We had virtually wiped out anti-Semitism in America. And now, not only is it back, it is mainstream thinking with these Gen Zers and millennials. All right? Mainstream thinking. And now this has, as it's sad to say, but I'm glad that these young idiots aren't going to be voting Democrat. They're not going to vote for Trump either. That's great. I don't want anybody voting Democrat. That helps us and all. But what's going on here is frightening. And genocide, do they even teach about the Holocaust? Genocide means you are trying to wipe out the DNA of a certain group, so there are no more of them. And and the genocide in the Second World War, Hitler's goal was to kill all the Jews. And there were certain, as recently as a couple years ago, do you know what country had the fastest growing Jewish population. Now, the last data I saw on this was about 4 or 5 years ago, but that's recent. What country in the world had the largest rate of growth of Jews? It's pretty, Germany. Germany. And the reason Germany did, they still may, is because Hitler killed all the Jews in Germany. So, that's why the that's why. And that's genocide. The people in Gaza, Palestinians, there are Palestinians all over the Middle East. In fact, there's more Palestinians in the other Middle Eastern countries probably than there are in these Palestinian areas harassing Israel. So Israel is not trying to rid the world of the Palestinian DNA like Hitler was with the Jews. That's not genocide. I mean, that's just stupid talk. It's not genocide. But it has, Obama's, when you look back at Obama's first 8 years, because we're in the third term of Obama now, his 8 years seem uneventful on the surface. But what he did to this country is what we're experiencing now. He has, through many things, a lot of it was nonstop bringing radicals into this country from the Middle East. There was a major move to infiltrate the education system with teachers that are radical at every level, not just in college, but in grade school and high school. And we have anti-Semitism at a rate that has probably not been seen in a country since the Nazis were running Germany. And it's mainstream thought. And I see these kids interviewed by CNN. They're so stupid. They all are smiling when they're saying this. Like they think that they don't know any different. It's not that they're, they're anti-Semitic, but really they're just stupid and brainwashed. It's like I remember once when Geraldo had his TV show, he had the Klan on a bunch of times. Not the time they broke his nose, but another time. And he had, although it might have been the broke the nose episode, I have to go back, but he had a Klansman's little kid on who was saying just terrible things about blacks. And you look at this kid and is he a racist or has he just been brainwashed by his Klan parents? You understand what I mean? You can be both. I get it. But these kids that you hear talking this way to CNN about Biden supporting genocide and all this nonsense, he's not even helping Israel. So, they should be, I'm glad they're not voting for him, but they don't know another way. And Obama, while his presidency may have seemed uneventful, the opposite, in fact, was true. He's done so much damage to about two generations, millennials and Gen Z. That's why Candace Owens is so off the rails on Israel. She's got that Obama propaganda in her mind about Jews and Israel as well. We're going to take our break for the bottom of the hour and be back.
Making morning radio. It's the Steve Kane Show with Brian Craig.
Tiffany Haynard. I'm going to talk about her next.
Brought to you by Palm Beach Patio Furniture, Route 1 Seminole Plaza Shops, North Palm Beach. Palm Beach Patio Furniture, voted in the best of the best patio store in Palm Beach County. PalmBeachPatioFurniture.com, where luxurious outdoor space.
Mary, that was very nice of you to gift those memberships. Thank you so much. And those of you that are members, I made a video about why I wasn't here yesterday.
I don't know if it's AI, but there was a picture
of a border guard with a few illegals looking at the
Yeah.
solar eclipse together.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah, so like they all have the sunlight.
Yeah.
Like, look it up, it's like,
Yeah. No, I didn't see that. I didn't see that.
I'll send it to you. I'll tell you.
Yeah.
I think it's real, but.
Awesome handicap and other exciting derby prep races, and the Paddock Restaurant is the perfect place to dine and play with super OTV action on over 140 new HD TVs. Go to pbkennelclub.com for more information.
You're on the air. What's your name? Where are you calling from?
Good morning, Brian. I just want to say thank you for Dr. Appleton because I'm from Orlando. It took 3 hours to go down there. Took my 90-year-old mom. My mom walks straighter than she ever walked in her life. And I just want to say thank you. Thank you, thank you, thank you for being such a willing vessel to talk about Dr. Appleton.
That's amazing. So you heard me in Orlando.
We are hoping to bring you this video within
seconds. To South Florida with your mother to see him.
Yes, my mom is awesome now. Awesome. No more arthritis, no more pills, none of that. She's going back to New York. She sits on the train for 24 hours. And I'm telling you, no pain. She gets off that train. And my sister, she walks like a young woman.
That's amazing. Call Dr. Appleton and say bye-bye to your pain too. 954-973-0710. 954-973-0710. Online, AppletonCairo.com. Brian Craig here. If you're a homeowner, business owner, or with a homeowners association, your roof is old or compromised, you need to call Tom Laporta at Laporta Contracting. With a AAA credit rating and bonded up to $10 million, Laporta Contracting doesn't need a large deposit like those other contractors do. Typical deposits other contractors want are 1/3 of the contract. If your job is $30,000, that's a $10,000 deposit. If your job is $300,000, that's $100,000. What are they doing with your money? Typically, it takes 3 to 4 weeks to get a permit, and HOAs, much longer. If they need money for the materials, they don't have credit with the suppliers, and that spells bad news for the homeowner or HOA. Tom Laporta is honest, knowledgeable, and reliable, and he'll never sell you a roof you don't need. Laporta Contracting has been in the roofing and contracting business since 1988, and his services cover the East and West Coast.
It could be.
Everywhere in between. Tom Laporta can
Someone's watching it without glasses. Someone's like, well, one of them's going blind.
Yeah.
Schools, municipal buildings, office buildings, emergency repairs. If it's roofing, Tom Laporta can do it. Call Tom Laporta right now on his cell phone, 954-604-4602. 954-604-4602. And online, LaportaContracting.com.
La Bamba Restaurant, a family-owned, authentic Mexican restaurant for 33 years. Come on in for a delicious taco salad, steak quesadilla, or a cold margarita. La Bamba is located at 730 US Highway 1 in North Palm Beach. Check out labamba123.com.
Are you living your best life? Are you feeling the way you know you should be? This is John, CFO at Lighthouse Medical Center. Our hormone optimization therapy programs have helped so many people get back to feeling the way they did in their 20s. They're full of energy after a long day, reduced their risk of heart disease, sexual vigor and excitement are great, sleeping the way they should without disturbances, and reducing their symptoms of aging. Our all-natural hormone optimization therapy is precise, easy, and effective from day one. Office visits are usually less than 5 times per year, and the cost is only $150 per month for most patients. Let our medical team get you optimized and living your best life. Our family medical practice has been serving South Florida for over 71 years. Let us show you what personalized medical care and being treated like family feels like. Call us at 754-222-6642. That's 754-222-6642. Or visit us at lighthousemedicalcenter.com to schedule your consultation today.
Now is the best time to run this challenge. Consider copper, gold, silver, battery metals, clean tech, biotech, and AI equities. Listen to Money Talk Radio South Florida with me, Ellis Martin, 9:30 a.m. weekdays here on your true only station.
Now, back to the Steve Kane Show with Brian Craig. Celebrating 47 years on the air.
All right, we are back. It is Wednesday, April 10th, 2024. I'm Brian Craig. It's the Steve Kane Show, Florida's longest-running radio show. Okay, you know this Mayor Tiffany Hayard, whatever her name is, the one that's involved in all the corruption that they've got Beetlejuice investigating. And now that the Beetlejuice 2 is coming out, it's a good time to start calling her that. More people will get the reference since the sequel is coming out. But this clip of her, let me play this. This is the mayor when she was being confronted. Let's play it.
Are black. And y'all sitting up here beating and attacking on a black woman that's in power. Y'all should be ashamed of y'all.
Oh boy, she's pretty articulate. I wonder if she's really talks so ghetto or if she's just talking ghetto to try to get people to relate to her. You know, we're seeing a pattern here, and this is corrupt black Democrat women, right? You've got this corrupt mayor I just played the clip from. You've got Letitia James. You've got Fannie. I'm sure there's another one I'm missing offhand. And, you know, they get busted, and look at what they do, right? They get busted, and they quadruple down in every single instance. And this woman says, you're going after a black woman? How dare you? You should be ashamed of yourself. I'm a black woman. You're black. I should be able to do what I want. The reason that you're seeing this happen with Letitia, Fannie, and this idiot of this small town is because, you know, all this talk that you want to hear from these critical race theorists and all this nonsense about white privilege does not exist. Now, it did exist at one point in our society, no doubt about it. Not during my time, I must say. You know, I remember when I first started in radio, they still had all that, the fairness doctrine thing was gone, but there were still a lot of vestiges to it. And I remember once the general manager of the radio station, he had to fill out a form. They don't do this stuff anymore, thankfully so. He had to fill out a form with the racial breakdown of the employees at the radio station. And there was one guy at the radio station who was white, but he, I'm not making this up, okay? The general manager, there were not enough Hispanics. He found a white guy at the station. He was on the air, and he had a tan all the time because we're in South Florida, right? He lived in the sun. He had like a permanent tan. He marked him down as Hispanic, and I remember he said it as a joke. He went and said, "You're Mexican, right?" He's like, "No, I'm white." He's like, "Well, you look." Man, he wrote him down as Hispanic on the form, and that was, you know, can you imagine? But I know it's crazy. But black liberal women have free reign in our society today. And Lori Lightfoot, you know, everybody knows how corrupt she is, and you know, and I wouldn't necessarily assume that Lori Lightfoot is going to give her a free pass. Lori Lightfoot might have a friend that she wants to plug in that position. So this woman might get in trouble so Lori Lightfoot can get her friend in. We know Lori Lightfoot, Beetlejuice, is corrupt. So, you know, I don't know. But I do know this, that if white privilege exists, why are black women so powerful in this country? It seems that black women have a lot of power in this country. Women in general, but black women right now are driving everything. We got and you look at all these Trump cases, there's hardly a white person involved. We got a Hispanic judge here in Florida, right? We've got a corrupt prosecutor, black woman, in Fulton County. We got a black female judge in the J6 case. This Stormy Daniels case, you got a black male prosecutor. It's all minorities. So if there's any oppression going on in this country today, it's reversed. And you know what? It's been that way for a long time. And the problem is, and you can hear it with this idiot mayor and her anger, like, well, she's black, she should be able to do what it is she wants to do. That's that saying the quiet part out loud. Because she actually believes that. And I remember there was I can't remember if he was a city commissioner or a county commissioner in Broward. It's been a long time. But this guy, he was either a city commissioner or a county commissioner. Can't remember which. He might have been both, because he did get elected to a higher office than he had before. And he used to be a school teacher, and there were some girls coming forward that he had had sex with when he was their teacher. Got one of them pregnant. You know what happened? He got elected again and reelected. And, yeah. And what we learned on this program, and we had black political people on the show, and they said in the black community, when you get busted for doing crime, it helps you. because the system is against you. So you become a victim. I couldn't believe it. I mean, and by the way, the guy's victims, the girls he was accused of that said he had, they were underage. The girls that were making the accusations, and he still got elected and reelected. And he did get elected to a higher office. I just can't remember which one. It's been a long time, and I don't want to inject his name. But some of you that, it's Broward County, you may know who I'm talking about. He was pretty well known. So that's the way it is. And, that's the elephant in the room that they don't want to talk about. Now, when I was talking to you about the education system and the brainwashing that's going on in our schools, it's gotten to a level that is insane to me to think, because it's so out of the closet. And I found a story of a teacher in Seattle who's a white guy. And I know you're saying, well, Seattle's liberal. It is, but this is even beyond that. This is an interview with a white male school teacher, public school teacher in Seattle, talking about Israel and Gaza. Listen to this. Oh, hold on. Let me get her. All right. We got you. I know. We're upset. Okay, hold on. Let me play. This is the teacher. That's the mayor. She's very upset.
Were women murdered at the music festival? They were. Was that justified?
Yes. Okay, so the reporter said, were women murdered at the music festival? He said yes, so he's not in denial about that. And then this guy said, was it justified? And the teacher says yes. The murders of the women at the music festival were justified.
Were women murdered at the music festival? They were. Was that justified? Yes.
This is nuts.
I'm Adam Gillette with Accuracy in Media. Today we've brought our Anti-Semitism Accountability Project to Seattle, Washington, where anti-Semitic educator Ian Golash is openly pro-Hamas and also endorses ethnic cleansing. He even makes flyers for students promoting ethnic cleansing. Yet despite this, the Seattle public school system has done nothing to hold him accountable. That's where we step in. Hey, good afternoon. What do you think about Ian Golash and his anti-Semitism? What are your thoughts?
I don't like it, honestly. How has he not been fired yet? Like, I've read his posts. He's anti-Semitic.
He said that Hamas didn't rape anybody, and he posted all this online.
You had him as a teacher?
I actually am a part of his class right now. He's taking us out as an example of free speech.
So he's taking you out of the class to us right now?
Yeah, he's right down there.
Mr. Golash, how are you?
I'm doing great.
I think one child dying is terrible, but I would never endorse killing women at a music festival. But you said that was merely resistance to oppression, is that right?
No, that's not what I said.
Your post said that oppressors don't get to choose the form of resistance used against them. You didn't write that?
That is true.
Well, then was what happened to Israel on October 7th justified?
Yes.
The rape of women at a music festival was justified.
Where's the evidence that there was rape?
Oh my goodness. I think this guy called me on Tuesday or on Monday.
Were women murdered at the music festival?
They were.
Was that justified?
Yes.
The murder of innocent women just attending a music festival, that was justified in your opinion?
No. I think resistance against Israel is justified, yes.
So, I mean, that's what you, and it goes on, and I'm not going to play more of it, but that's what you've got going on in the public schools. And the last time I heard a teacher talk that way, remember Ward Churchill? This was after 9/11. This was insane. Bill O'Reilly had him on his show on Fox. Ward Churchill was a college professor, and is not long after 9/11, and he was calling the people that were jumping out of the World Trade Center because they were in rooms filled with fire, little Eichmanns, remember that? And the nation rose up, and he got in a lot of trouble, that guy, Ward Churchill. He was a fake Indian. He pretended to be an Indian and used all this for special protections. He had lied, but people were upset about that. Now, it was bad enough when we had college professors who talk this way. But what has happened, it's like with many things, the left, the radicals, they've moved on to the regular grade school. This is a high school teacher here talking this way. And he's fearless. This guy should be fired. No question about it. I mean, he is saying that the murder and rape of women is justified. And he's teaching children. And while one or two kids may say he's nuts, that sinks in. That sinks in. And what we really need in the Republican Party, I've been calling for this for a long, long time, is we need a massive recruitment of school teachers that are MAGA. Charlie Kirk, when we get through this election, Charlie Kirk could do wonders recruiting people at his events to get into the education profession, because in conservative circles we spend so much time telling young people to get into business and stuff, and that's all good, but we've abandoned the school system, and that's why we're suffering with this guy. And don't blow it off that it's just Seattle, because those kids I played earlier, they were in Atlanta, Georgia. That's not Seattle, and they've got teachers just like that guy in Seattle. All right, we'll take our last break of the second hour. It's the Steve Kane Show. I'm Brian Craig. We'll be right back.
The cold, hard truth. Delivered morning 6 to 9 right here on the Steve Kane Show.
When it comes to dental work, there's no one better than Dr. Gupta at Brighton Dental. But don't just take my word for it. This is Richie the bus driver. He called in on the air to share his experience with Dr. Gupta. You're on the air. What's your name? Where are you calling from?
Yeah, this is Richie. Dr. Gupta. I go 139 miles to this guy. I had a broken tooth. He fixed it. It was supposed to be temporary. It lasted 2 years. He put dentures in my mouth that are a lot cheaper than anybody else. And he's excellent and no pain. I recommend this guy. To me, he's the best ever. So I want to get that out of the way.
Listen to Richie the bus driver. Go see Dr. Gupta at Brighton Dental. 954-922-4633. 954-922-4633.
Look up in the sky, on a t-shirt, a hoodie, or a hat. It's the Print Hero. The Print Hero team is made up of expert designers and printers, each with their own unique superpowers. Help your company look great. Stand out with your unique lifestyle. The Print Hero has you covered. Let your business soar with Print Hero. Display your logo, love, lifestyle, or whatever you want the world to see on a t-shirt, hoodie, or hat. Best prices and fast turnaround time. Print Hero, a company that goes above and beyond to deliver top quality products and services to their clients. Learn more at theprinthero.com. Up and away.
Brian Craig here with a question for seniors and those who care about them. How would you like to have instant access to a healthcare advocate at the touch of a button? Would that make life easier for you? You can with I Will Advocates. I Will Advocates will help you set up doctor's appointments, help with your pharmacy, even deal with your pharmacist to make sure that you have your prescriptions. They'll help you find a doctor, including a specialist. If you've been billed improperly by a doctor's office or a hospital, they can help you with that too. They'll even be your advocate when you're in the hospital to make sure you get the care you need and the care you deserve. And that's just the beginning of what they do. I Will Advocates takes care of all Steve Kane's healthcare issues too, and they can do the same for you. I Will Advocate clients are family, and they go to bat for their family when you need them the most. Call Debbie at I Will Advocates right now. Toll free 1-877-275-2326. 1-877-275-2326. 1-877-275-2326.
How far? 1 month? No doctor yet. I can't afford it. Protect yourself and your baby. The health department can help you out. Test for STDs. I don't have diseases. You don't know. You don't always have symptoms. STDs make you and your baby sick. I don't want my baby sick. No one cares more about your baby sick. I'm calling my county health department.
A message from the Florida Department of Health, the Florida Association of Broadcasters, and this radio station.
Brian Craig here. When it comes time to get my blood work done, I don't have time to spend hours in the doctor's office or waiting hours in one of those big labs. That's why I go to Any Lab Test Now in Boca and Any Lab Test Now in Coral Springs for all of my lab work. Their techs are highly skilled and professional, and their prices are guaranteed to be the lowest on lab work you'll find anywhere. Appointments aren't necessary. Doctor's orders and prescriptions, they're not needed either. I'm in and out in 15 minutes or less. I get the results the next day in my email box, and they also send it to my doctor. There's lots of Any Lab Test Nows around, but these are the only two advertising on our radio station. So don't use the rest. Only go to Any Lab Test Now of Boca and Any Lab Test Now of Coral Springs. Any Lab Test Now of Boca is in the Sandalfoot Plaza. That's where the Western Beef is, between Palmetto Park Road and Hillsborough Boulevard on the east side of State Road 7, 441. Any Lab Test Now of Coral Springs is on the southeast corner of University and Ramblewood by the Coral Square Mall. Call Any Lab Test Now of Boca at 561-237-5009. Any Lab Test Now of Coral Springs number is 954-906-5983. Don't forget to mention that you heard about them on the radio.
We take on the social justice warriors for breakfast. Now the Steve Kane Show is on the air.
All right. Welcome back, everyone. I'm Brian Craig. It's the Steve Kane Show, Florida's longest running radio show. Our number toll-free, 1-888-465-2631. All right, now, if you or someone you know are suffering with neuropathy, you need to call Lighthouse Medical Center. And, you know, Lighthouse Medical Center, they can help you no matter where you are located. Not just locally if you can't make it into the office, but no matter where you are in the country, Lighthouse Medical can help you with your neuropathy. Their neuropathy treatment works. I've seen it work with many of our listeners and Steve Kane. And, you know, your primary care doctors, your neurologists, they're going to tell you what they told Steve. There's no treatment for neuropathy. That's not true. Lighthouse Medical has a neuropathy treatment that works. All those torturous symptoms that you're suffering from, the numbness, the pain, the burning, the tingling in your hands and feet, the muscle weakness, the dizziness, the feeling of pins and needles in your hands and feet, no feeling at all, the muscle twitching, gone. Their treatment works. Give them a call. Now, when you call, make sure you mention you heard about them on the Steve Kane Show so you can take advantage of the no-charge consultation. 754-222-6642. 754-222-6642. And online, lighthousemedicalcenter.com. All right? Give them a call. It works, guys. I'm here to tell you. And if you have neuropathy or know someone who does, it is living torture. Again, 754-222-6642. All right. Now, Steve will be joining us in the next hour. We'll recap, and I got a couple other issues I haven't gotten to yet. But I want to go back to what I started with at 6 because it's very important. This has got to be fixed, and it's got to be fixed quick. And it's this Arizona ruling. You know, Arizona is nothing but trouble for us, isn't it? I tell you, you know, anybody in Arizona in the audience, Arizona is nothing but trouble for us. And this Supreme Court ruling, during the break, I'm looking at the Drudge Report. They've got a picture of women from the Victorian era, and it says, this is the headline on Drudge Report. Arizona abortion law returns to 1864. Trump supports suffrage in the desert. Suffrage in the desert. And that headline backs up what I started the show with at 6. I didn't even see this then. I don't know if that headline was there then. See what they've done? The suffrage movement is to liberate women from this outdated law in Arizona where doctors can go to jail for doing abortions. Okay? And look at what Trump supports suffrage in the desert, which means Trump supports abortion. And if you're looking in some publications today, it's the same thing about Kari Lake. Kari Lake supports abortion. And, you know, this election, the Democrats, Rush used to talk about, they've got that old playbook. They always run the same play, okay? They do run the same plays all the time, but people don't always recognize it. And this one, Trump's going to have to come out with a way to get this under control. It's going to take his mind because I don't know how to do it. All right? I told you guys with this abortion law in Arizona doesn't just punish the doctor. It won't just punish the woman. It'll punish anyone who takes part in an abortion. So what does that mean? You know, the one example that if you under this law, it depends on how strictly you interpret it, but under this ruling in Arizona, if you drive a woman to the abortion clinic, you've helped in an abortion. If you did a Google search to find a local abortion clinic, you've taken part in an abortion just by doing the Google search. You could be prosecuted. It's pretty hardcore. Okay? And the establishment have gotten this ruling to happen, and it's going to be in other states too, so that President Trump has to come out, now Kari Lake too, because it's Arizona, and say, this is too strict of a restriction on abortion. Because it is. That's crazy. And I mean, how many of you would want to put the Uber driver in jail? How many of you would want to put the aunt in jail who did the Google search to find out where the abortion clinic is. I'm not saying these are good things, but to put them in jail, of course it's too far. On top of the fact that no matter how pro-life you are, most of the country, I cannot imagine many people support a restriction that strict, including the justices on the Arizona Supreme Court. This is the first tactic that they've come up with that is going to have any legs to it unless it's handled quickly. And how you can handle it, I don't know. I was shocked that Kari Lake released a statement on it. I know she felt obligated to, and she released a statement yesterday, right away about it. She should have let it sit for a day to think it through a little bit more and have some discussions with Trump and the Trump campaign. But how do you respond to that ruling in Arizona without them being able to portray you as supporting abortion? How do you? It's a difficult thing. I mean, I promise you, Kari Lake is against abortion 100%. But she said, but they don't say what I'm telling you. The receptionist at the abortion clinic could be charged with a crime under this law, right? Should the receptionist at the abortion clinic? I mean, if you're a receptionist at an abortion clinic, you're not a nice person and you're kind of twisted. But should they be charged? They could under this law. So, I mean, come on. Who supports that? Not very many people. Some do, I'm sure, but not very many people. So when Kari Lake says, well, that's not, this ruling is too strict, and that's not where the country is, that's right, and I would agree with that. But that's not going to stop the false narrative. And the narrative that is going on right now is what I just read to you in the Drudge Report. They're saying that Trump is the defender of abortion rights in Arizona. That's what that headline says in the Drudge Report. I opened the show talking about this at 6, and just in the last 2 hours, as the news gets updated in the morning, you're starting to see what I predicted 2 hours ago be revealed, like in real time. To me, this election is about one thing. It's not. This election isn't about the border. It isn't about abortion. It's about saving our country. All these other things are important. The border, something. It's all under one big umbrella. And none of these issues that we talk about should be a decider on anything. That's why I told you all this talk about who the vice presidential pick is going to be. I don't care who he picks. I'm still going to support Trump. And all this stupidity that we're dealing with these days, whether it's Israel or this topic we're talking about this morning, all these things will evaporate and be taken care of after Trump takes the oath of office. Okay? But this is a narrative that for the first time we don't have control of since Trump came down the escalator. And the response to it, this one could hurt us a little bit. And Kari Lake, it's not going to hurt Trump nationally, but it hurts Kari Lake a lot in Arizona, a lot. All right, now we'll take our break for the top of the hour. When we come back, Steve will be joining us. We'll talk about this a little bit with Steve, and there are some issues I have not gotten to yet. And we're back here live. We were off yesterday, but we're back here live today. Our number is toll-free, no matter where you're listening, 1-888-465-2631, 888-465-2631. My name is Brian Craig. You're listening to The Steve Kane Show, Florida's longest-running radio show on the radio since 1977, celebrating 47 years on the radio. I can't believe it. 47 years. We'll be right back. Can you hear me, Steve?
Yes, I can.
All right, yeah, I think you're a little, talk a little bit. I think it might be too close to, yeah, you're a little close to the mic. It's a little distorted.
I should take it further away.
A little bit.
Is that better?
Oh, hold on, let me hear you now.
Testing, 1, 2, 3.
Maybe a little far now because you sound low.
Low? No, it went louder.
Okay, yeah, okay, now you're fine. All right, hold on.
Weather brought to you by Palm Beach Patio Furniture, Route 1, Seminole Plaza Shops, North.
It's the Steve Kane Show with Brian Craig.
All right, the third hour has begun. It's Wednesday morning. I'm Brian Craig. It's the Steve Kane Show, Florida's longest-running radio show. Steve Kane joining us. Hey, Steve.
Yes, I hope I'm joining you. Technical difficulties this morning, but we'll get through it.
No, you sound fine.
I do? Okay.
You sound fine. You sound fine. I was trying to call you yesterday, but you didn't take my calls. I was starting to wonder.
No.
I know you're okay, because I figured if something happened, like somebody would call and tell me. But I tried to get you like all afternoon yesterday, and it's just, you know.
Communication difficulties.
Oh, okay. I won't take it personally then. As, you know. All right. Well, you know, I had something important, but it's not there now.
Not important anymore?
Nah, I don't know.
See if you can use it to swing into...
No. Nothing for the air. Nothing for the air. Okay. Some things, not everything's for the air. Well,
All the good stuff should be.
Well, we may have to start doing our private conversations on the air since you're not taking my calls. But, you know, it's the same problem over the weekend. But anyway, lots is happening, lots going on. You know, before you joined us here at the top, I was talking about this Arizona ruling and how it's a uniparty tactic.
That I was hearing.
This is awful. This is awful. Okay, I'll recap it. You know, it's just I hear it at the top of the hour news, every news break, and it's all over the news. They have President Trump and Kari Lake sounding like they're pro-life if you listen to what they're saying, okay? This abortion ruling by the Arizona pro-choice, not pro-life. This abortion ruling in Arizona criminalizes anyone who takes part in an abortion, which is, that's not just the doctors or the woman. If you got a girl pregnant and you drive her to the abortion clinic, you could be charged.
This is not new legislation.
Yeah, well, it's the Supreme Court of Arizona ruled, yes, it's going to go into effect. It's not gone into effect yet, but it's going to go into effect. And immediately, Kari Lake came out and said that this law is too extreme on abortion. And this little test with Kari Lake that, you know, I wish she would have waited a day or two to make a statement. This is going to be duplicated in states around the country by the Trump-hating uniparty to pass or try to pass as many extreme, uber-extreme abortion rules, regulations, and laws that they can to try to destroy pro-life conservatives like Kari Lake. And it very well could have some impact. But I wanted to just mention, I was reading during the break in the New York Post about McDonald's prices in California. And you know, this new minimum wage law in California, this is an amazing thing going on. And I watch a lot of news out of California because my daughter's out there. So I watch the local news in Los Angeles a lot online. Since my daughter's out there, I want to know what's going on. And it's scary. I probably shouldn't watch the news because it's scary what's going on out there. But this minimum wage increase in California is having devastating effects. Mostly what you see, like this article in the New York Post, are the high cost of things like McDonald's, right? I mean, there's a McDonald's value meal that's now $25 that in California because of the $20 minimum wage. They have a chain of 99-cent stores that are now all shuttering up in California. And those 99-cent stores, a lot of people in California, and I've seen a lot of people interviewed on local news in California, they go there to buy food, not just to get ink pens and stuff. I go to the dollar store for like ink pens and stuff, but these 99-cent stores in California where a lot of people are doing the grocery shopping, and they're closing up without any notice. And these people are like, I don't know what I'm going to do. I'm going to feed my kids with because the regular grocery store prices are so high. And a lot of businesses are just shutting down throughout the entire state as well. California, what California is experiencing right now is the finale of the failure of liberalism. They're feeling it hard. And the fast food prices going up so high, most of the coverage that I see about the minimum wage involves the fast food prices, in particular McDonald's, and how high they're going. and people are flipping out. I mean, they're having meltdowns in California over the skyrocketing fast food prices because of the minimum wage. I mean, if you own a McDonald's franchise, and the minimum wage is now $20, how many chicken McNuggets do you have to sell to make a profit, to pay the bills for the salaries and the lights and the food and everything? A lot.
The other end, if you're addicted to that horrendous slop they try to pass off on you at McDonald's as food, and you're living on that because you're used to the low price
And the convenience.
and the convenience, now you have nothing to eat.
And it's not just McDonald's. It's all the fast food places, right? The prices are going up. But there's and it's an interesting thing because I'm seeing, like that, like I was playing earlier, this clip of young people in Georgia that are black that are not going to vote for Biden because they support Hamas and he's being too tough on Hamas. In California, there is so much outrage by young Gen Z millennial Californians over this massive increase in fast food that has just happened with the minimum wage. Yeah. It's gonna cost. Yes, that's exactly right. It's going to cost the Democrats big time in California. I'm not saying that Trump's going to win California, but it's going to help us in congressional races out there. It's going to help us in some local races out there, and it is.
Run the field into chaos.
It's easy to be a liberal person, and you're talking, and you're exactly, and you want to stick it to the rich. And you figure, well, McDonald's, they're rich. If a guy owns a franchise, he's rich, which is not necessarily true, by the way, because it's expensive to have a franchise. And then all of a sudden it gets, and they've been advocating for the $20 minimum wage for 20 years. They finally get it, and then all of a sudden they can't afford McNuggets. It's a rude awakening for them. And I know it seems crazy. Well, the $20 minimum wage in California, it's almost like when the Berlin Wall fell, like the days leading up to the fall of the Berlin Wall. They've lived under communism in California, and now they finally said, too much. Enough is enough. We can't handle it. This is just too much. This $20 minimum, we can't afford to go to Taco Bell, and that's the way it is. And the Democrats are going to be in for a rude awakening, not so much in the presidential race, because we're going to take that home easily. I'm talking about in the House of Representatives. Before all this nonsense, we were going to win a larger majority than we had before. We're going to have a massive majority in the House after the November elections. In the House, we're going to have maybe the largest majority Republicans have ever had in the House when this is done, because the Senate's a different story, but the House, because the Democrat voter base, the ones that they still have, are not going to turn out. Their turnout is going to be so depressed in this election nationwide that we're going to pick up a lot. House seats are decided by a couple dozen votes sometimes even less. 100 votes, 150 votes regularly decide House seats in this country. And the Democrats, between what's going on in Israel and this minimum wage and a couple of other things, have alienated so many people in their base that their turnout is going to be depressed to a point. We're not going to win California for Trump, but places like California, we're going to win House seats that normally aren't in play. So if you're a Republican voter and you're in one of these blue states or a blue district or a blue county and you feel like your vote's wasted, it is so important for you to get not only yourself but all your Republican friends to turn out. I can imagine what it must be like to be a Democrat in a Republican and Democrat-run California on Election Day. You probably feel stupid voting when you're a Republican in California on Election Day because you're like, what's the point? This is a time when it could really make a difference. And not just in California, I'm talking around the whole country. Well, let's take a call or two, then we'll break, and then there's a couple other things, too, we want to get to. You're on the air. What's your name? Where are you calling from? Good morning.
Yeah, hi.
Yes, you're on the air.
Yeah, hi, Brian. And hi, Steve. How you doing?
We're doing good. How about you?
Okay. Listen, Brian, when I didn't see you yesterday, I got worried that something was wrong with you or Kathy.
Yeah.
I started praying about it. I was nervous about it.
Well, something was wrong. Something was wrong, Roz.
Oh, okay. Well, it's none of my business, but I did pray for you guys.
Well, thank you. Thank you very much. I appreciate that.
That's okay. Anyway, I don't know if you noticed or if you saw it 2 days ago. You know how President Trump will make statements at Mar-a-Lago? But, well, he came out and he said, he goes, I think he even apologized. He said, folks, we're going to go with the 15-week abortion ban. He said, because that's what everybody wants. And he goes, I have to do that for the election. And I'm still voting for him. But I heard a lot of people are mad, like evangelicals and stuff.
Yes, yeah, that's what I've been talking about all morning. And it's you know, we should not even be discussing abortion. And they're they're forcing it. They're forcing it upon us to discuss it in this election. And it's, you know, it's ticking me off.
Yeah, I mean, they're going to make us talk about it.
That's right.
We might as well accept the reality and deal with it.
Yeah.
That's what Trump was saying. He said, I have to do it for the election.
Yeah. I mean, it's devastating.
Still voting for him, but I don't agree with abortion at all.
Well, either does President Trump, and neither does Kari Lake. But what they're talking about, what they're doing, what the Never Trumpers and the Democrats are doing, is putting legislation and trying to pass laws out there that criminalize it, where mothers could go to jail, doctors could go to jail, and most people, even some of the strongest pro-life people, don't even support that. Roz, I appreciate the call and thank you for the prayers yesterday, all right?
Okay, have a good day.
All right, good. A lot of people, you know, probably were praying that we didn't come back, but no, we're here. All right, it's true. It's true. But I don't know if I told you this. I found out that your old friend Jeff Willits died like a year and a half, 2 years ago. Did you know? Yeah, I just found out yesterday. Somebody sent me something, and I wasn't sure if you knew. Kathy Willits was at the funeral. They were together when he died.
In California?
No, he died in Ohio. They moved to Ohio, the Willitses.
What she died of?
He died. She's alive. He died of cancer. He had throat cancer. Yeah, I know. If you guys remember the Willitses, Jeff and Kathy Willits, you'll know why we're... Oh, my goodness. Those were the days. All right, we'll be right back.
Don't sit on the sidelines. Get in on the action. Call the Steve Kane Show live on air now. 888.
Have you put off buying new tires because you thought they were too expensive? Find friendly prices at Friendly Tire and Market on both new and used tires. New tires as low as $70 a tire. That's out the door and on the road, because Friendly Tire doesn't charge you to balance the tire or mount the tire. They have thousands of used tires in stock too, starting at just $30. Call for a quote right over the phone. 954-977-9445. 954-977-9445.
Have you been to Chowderheads in Jupiter yet? If you were looking for the best seafood in town, you have to try Chowderheads. You'll love their authentic New England seafood, farmed fresh from Boston. Their award-winning lobster rolls, clam chowder, and fried oysters are absolutely delicious. Come taste it for yourself. You will want to keep coming back for more at Chowderheads, located in the Driftwood Plaza on Southwest Highway 1 in Jupiter. Now open 7 days a week. For reservations or to go, call 561-203-2903 or check out their menu at
Show with Brian Craig. Listen in the Palm Beaches on 95.9 FM, the Treasure Coast on 106.9 FM, hear us in Boca on 95.3 FM, Fort Lauderdale on 96.9 FM,
All right, we're back. It's Wednesday. We are back from our day off yesterday. I'm Brian Craig, Steve Kane here. The $25 extravaganza at MyPillow with our promo code Kane continues, Steve, K-A-N-E at checkout. And they've added some items to the $25, and this one is a big one. MyPillow slippers as low as $25 a pair. There's a whole 25. You want another pair? Yeah. So yeah, I know. And yeah, the ones I like too. I might get an extra pair or two and just keep them in the closet until for years until I need them. You know what I mean? Because this is a very low price, $25 for MyPillow, My Slippers. There's other top MyPillow products for the $25 special going on too with our promo code Kane at checkout, K-A-N-E, including the 6-piece MyPillow towel set, and a lot of them are top products. But the MyPillow slippers, as low as $25 a pair, that is probably what I'm looking at the top, Steve. That's probably the biggest discount of all out of everything I'm looking at. So go to MyPillow.com. Use our promo code Kane at checkout, K-A-N-E. You can also order by phone, 1-800-716-4879. 1-800-716-4879. Promo code Kane, K-A-N-E. You know, this is really amazing because I made a prediction at the top of the show at 6, and throughout of what they were going to do with this Arizona ruling, and throughout the show, my prediction has been coming true. I had the Drudge Report; they're calling Trump pro-abortion, and then CNN. They got a whole story on Trump's problem with this issue. Because, it's happening. It's happening. And, President Trump, when he made that abortion statement the other day, I don't think it was an accident that he did it the day of the eclipse, because they're making him say that the restriction is too much. So, because it is. This ruling in Arizona is too strict, and they have Trump and Kari Lake out there saying that the abortion ruling's too strict, so the media are saying, oh, look, Kari Lake and Trump are pro-choice, when they're not. But they're making them sound that way. This is not a good issue. The abortion issue, I was very wrong about this. You were telling me about this for months. The abortion issue is a bit of a problem. It's a problem for us. We're not going to lose. Trump's not going to lose over it, but it's not a good issue for us. You're on the air. What's your name? Where are you calling from?
Al, I'm right now in Delray Beach.
Good. That's further away from me than your last call.
Why are you telling us that?
Because he made a big issue of me being a resident of Palm Beach Gardens.
No, I just wanted to tell you that you are not welcome at the radio station under any circumstances.
Cares?
Yeah, what's on your... Can you talk about the issues? What's on your mind, Al? Oh.
What's on my mind is the Axel's bank bailing out bank, Trump.
Yeah.
Bank is, lending some money, and...
So you're against... I don't know the details of this, but you're against loans? Yeah, that's the... Yeah, you're against loans? Why? Why are you against that?
Because he's a grifter. That's all he does is grift.
How is it a grift to take a loan?
He's spending all...
No. How is it a grift, a con, to take a loan?
Wait, I can't...
Yeah, okay, all right. Oh, I was just hanging up on him. You want to...
Al, I get the impression as I talk to you that you're holding your nose. Are you holding your nose between your thumb and your forefinger?
No.
Oh, hey. Steve, please don't talk to Al about holding parts of his body, because he'll reveal what he's really holding, and he started to laugh when I said it. Okay? You're on the air. What's your name? Where are you calling from? You're on the air. What's your name? Where are you calling from?
Hi, my name is Gloria. I'm calling from Virginia Beach.
Hey, Gloria, what's up?
So I just want to make a comment about the Trump with abortion. The other day, what he said was states were going to do what they want to do. I think he ought to let it alone and let the states do what they want to do.
No, I agree. And that's always been the Republican position. But the problem, this is the problem. Let me just explain it a little bit. This ruling in Arizona was done by the Democrats and the Never-Trumpers in the Republican Party, okay? They are criminalizing anyone who takes part in an abortion happening can be jailed. That includes the mother, that includes the doctor, that includes the Uber driver that drives the woman to the abortion clinic. So, of course, that's too restrictive. So what happens is they pass something that's super restrictive. Then they go to Trump, they go to Kari Lake and ask them about it, and their response is it's too restrictive. So then CNN portrays them as being pro-choice and which is pro-abortion when they're not. And that's why I'm telling you that this is the first time since Trump came down the escalator that we don't have 100% control of the narrative. Whenever you're responding to the narrative of the opposition, you're losing. Right, Steve? I mean, that's what's going, and that's where we are today. Now, Trump's amazing, so he could come out this morning and do something and change the narrative, but that's the narrative right now.
I have faith that he will.
Mm-hmm.
I agree with Steve. I have faith that he will.
Oh, yeah, but we're suffering through it today, right now at this moment. Hey, I appreciate the call. Let's take one more, then we'll break. You're on the air. What's your name? Where are you calling from?
Hi, my name is Nicole. I'm calling from Detroit, Michigan.
Hey, Nicole.
Hey, how you doing?
All right.
Because everybody is so worried about this abortion thing. Either we don't trust God or we not. These people have always gonna put the same narrative. Either they're never going to say what they should say. They control the airwaves, the media, and that's what God said about it. So we gotta just trust God in what He's doing. Stop worrying about pleasing.
Well, wait a minute. Wait a minute. So okay. So I trust in God, okay. But what does that mean? That we don't talk about it? That we just sit here and say, okay, we're going to be trusting and not comment ever?
And you can comment, but the worry.
What do you think that the liberals want us to do about it?
Worry about it.
Well, I'm not. Hold on a second here.
Either Brian.
No. I'm not worrying about it. What I am doing is exposing the tactic that they're using right now.
You're not worried.
I never worry about. Now, I don't have a worry in the world about Trump winning. Believe me, I worry about a lot of stuff. I don't worry about Trump being reelected.
Right. So the thing about it is we need to just stand with God said. He's behind the move. He appointed Trump to this position. And people, I think, are afraid because of the cheap.
Well, you're calling from Detroit. A friend of mine does a morning show in Detroit, and you're in a different time zone than we are. So he's on the air till 11 our time because you're an hour behind us. And he used to have me on the show every once in a while. I'd get off the air here, and then they'd have me on as a guest. It was a guy that I started out with in radio. We started out together. We're here in mornings in sunny South Florida. He's in Detroit. He's a good guy, though. But they would have me on they'd have me on. Yeah, that's for sure. He's a great guy, though, and he's how I knew young Ron Brewer that just passed away. But anyway, he used to have me on all the time. I was like their Trump guy, and I would clarify everything. And the radio station told him it couldn't have me on anymore. Couldn't have me on anymore because they would have these liberal callers, your neighbors in Detroit, call in, and I would just be downstairs in the parking lot talking to them on the phone, and I filleted every one of them, and they're like, no more. So I am banned from Detroit radio, a morning show. Yeah, I don't want to say the show because I don't want to get my friend Steve in trouble. His name's Steve too, Steve. A lot of Steves. All right, thanks for the call. We're going to take our break for the bottom of the hour. If you'd like to call in, please do. Our number is toll-free, 1-888-465-2631. My name is Brian Craig. This is Florida's longest-running radio show, The Steve Kane Show. We'll be right back.
Making morning radio great again. I think you're going to really love it. It's The Steve Kane Show with Brian Craig.
Which mic is that?
I'm going to double check right now.
This one?
It should be, but it might be a different mic.
From the Palm Beach Patio Furniture Weather Center, where luxurious outdoor spaces are created, here's the oldies forecast.
The traffic part, so I can at least test it out.
How's it going?
Hey.
How you been?
Good. How you feeling?
Good.
You had me scared. I'm in my office and that guy calls up. I'm in Palm Beach Gardens, and you're like, "No, you're not welcome at the
Yeah,
radio
you're not
station."
welcome here.
And then all of a sudden, I hear the doorbell ring. So I ran and I was like,
me. He's got his gun.
I was like, "Oh shit, this is gonna go down."
I thought it was Jersey Mike. I go, "No, this guy's
Oh,
called my
please.
office 3 times."
Oh, really?
He goes, "Is Brian here?" I go, "Brian's not here." No. You know,
crazy.
My fans.
Yeah.
Yeah, I thought. I'm like, man, I'm gonna have to beat someone up. For
Well, at
Brian
least you
today."
got my back. You got the. What do you got there? Is that a Glock?
Yeah. I was like, I just keep it under my desk, but it's like, I was like, no, you don't. And I've never brought it to the office until this guy started working.
Yeah, right.
And I'm like,
he said he did hip hop and
I've done hip hop. You know, there used to be drug dealers, drug deals going down in the parking lot, EDM people passing out with ecstasy. I said, I'm going to go to Florida and open up an oldie station.
Palm Beach Garden. Well, I knew this guy. He was on the air in Miami. He did overnights. And the station got broken into while he was on the air. They came in to steal the wiring. And he was on the air, and the station got broken into while he was on the air.
Yeah, it's crazy. That happened to me once in Ocala. We were in Ocala.
Ocala?
Yeah, when I bought those radio stations in Ocala.
Yeah.
So it was in the newspaper that the stations were sold, and it was an old family that owned them and stuff. And when I bought them, we were up there and we were doing construction. I do all the construction myself and the engineering. So we were working late one night. It's like 1 a.m, and all of us we're in the transmitter building, and I hear a truck, like a diesel engine.
Oh my God!
Right? So I'm like,
copper
I told
wiring?
my partner, I said, John, there's a car outside. He's like, no, there's not. I'm like, John, I hear a car in the distance. He said, what the fuck with a car? We're 2 miles into the woods. I said, someone's either hunting out there or something's going down. And he's like, all right, so we got our guns and we went out there and we called 911 first and said, hey, we're at the transmitter site. Someone see, because we saw the lights in the woods. Sure enough, they were fucking digging up the
copper wiring.
To sawzall the copper.
That copper wiring is worth money. Oh, yeah.
Well, first of all, if they would have cut the cable, they would have died. They would have been electrocuted.
Yeah, and they'd sue you. Then their families would sue you.
100,000 watts of radiation going through it.
Yeah.
But rednecks up in Ocala, and so the cops came. Thank God, because if we would have approached them, it would have been a shootout.
Oh my goodness, we're coming back. Did you have something you wanted me to bring up to you?
I thought
The book?
really
Awesome,
quick.
absolutely.
Yeah. I endorsed it for you.
Okay.
And I was trying to remember you saying, all right.
Oh.
I just want to talk. I ordered a bunch of books.
Okay.
Free copy.
Okay.
And I'll just go on for 2 minutes. We can do a 2-minute thing. I know you're busy today.
Oh, Mike. This one? Is that 3? The third pot is 3. Okay, because I wasn't sure if it was like host 1, 2, 3. That's 3.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
So I know it's weird.
Because it says 2 on the board.
It's so weird. I don't know how.
2 is 3.
Yeah, 2 is 3. 1 is.
Okay.
You got some volume there. I have to make sure it is. Right now, so that's the good part. Good job, man.
Oh my goodness.
Some crazy stuff going on right now, isn't it?
Oh yeah.
It never stops.
door, I was like,
What's that?
when I went to the door, I was like, what a greeting.
Oh, yeah, well, that guy.
That's pretty crazy.
Well, he called in the other day and he said he moved to Palm Beach Gardens, so I wanted him to know he's not welcome here, to come here, you know.
The Steve Kane Show.
All right, you guys, all the action happened during that break, which was pretty hot that you missed. Now, in studio today, we have Jupiter Joe Thomas. He's our retirement and financial expert here at True Oldies. Joe, welcome.
Thank you, Brian.
You know, this book of yours, you say you got a whole bunch of new books. You want to give them out to people.
Give them away.
Yeah, and when we first met, you gave me a copy of this book, The Retirement Know-It-All, which you are offering free. I'm going to give you Joe's number in just a bit, and you can call and get your copy of the book for free. It's an easy, quick read to book, and it is filled with very actionable, easy to understand information on retirement. But on the front of the book, you have a quote. Is that from you?
Yes.
Okay. Now, this is on the cover of Joe Thomas's book, Retirement Know-It-All. And the quote is, "The rich get richer because they know things other people don't know."
That's right.
And can you tell people about it? Because that is 100% true.
So years ago, in the old days, I used to deal with nothing but very wealthy clients, you know, in the millions up in New York and New Jersey. And I found out as a young guy, I was in my 20s and 30s doing this, and that was the clientele that I had. And I found that most of these people wanted to know the secrets, the tax secrets, the investment secrets, the retirement secrets, and how to reduce taxes, which is the most important thing with retirement. And I also found out that not only do they want to do things that other people don't do, but they also want to have advisors that know things that other advisors don't know. So I kind of separated myself from other advisors by knowing this stuff. And I'm going to tell you, take advantage of the laws while they're there, and that's what that's about, Brian.
Yeah, now, of course, if you are a wealthy listener, I'm sure Joe Thomas would very much like your business as well.
Sure, of course.
but you know, something I learned in my life a long time ago, anything that you want to do and you want to be successful at it, find someone that is successful at it and copy what they're doing.
Exactly.
And that's what you're talking about. And I make a big deal about this every time you're on Jupiter Joe Thomas, Jupiter Joe Thomas. You know, for people that are not familiar with the area, Jupiter is one of the more exclusive areas of the entire South Florida area. You know, Burt Reynolds made it famous with the Burt Reynolds Ranch back in those days. But it is a very exclusive area. And when I'm taking financial advice from someone, I want to take advice from someone that's in Jupiter, not, you know, Margate, if you know what I mean.
Yeah, and let me just say this, you know, we have clients that start with $10,000. You know, people always say, oh my God, this guy's on here, he must be dealing with millionaires. We do have millionaire clients, but we also have clients that are just looking to start. I would say two things. One, it's never too late. And number two, no matter how much money you have, put it to work for yourself. Earn interest on it. Make it do better than what it's doing. If you can do that, you're going to have a successful retirement.
Absolutely. And I just want to talk for a moment before you go back. We're going to tell you again how to get the book, but I want to talk to you about annuities. My oldest and best friend, I was just talking to him over the weekend. He's retired. He has a small pension. He has Social Security, which he took early, so he didn't get the full benefit. And he has a couple of annuities, and he gets income from those annuities. And not only does it make him live very comfortably, he travels all over the world.
Yeah. So fixed income is what it's all about. When you retire on Social Security, or if you're lucky enough to have a pension, those two things are guaranteed for the rest of your life. Well, guess what, Brian? So is an annuity. If you take a fixed index annuity and turn it into an income stream, we can guarantee it for the rest of your life. Now, I know it's hard to believe, but it works just like Social Security does. It works just like your pension does, except you control it. And that's what I specialize in.
Yeah, absolutely. And, you know, taking more advice from the rich, the wealthy do not risk principal. And your savings, whatever you have that you put into an annuity, that's your principal. And in an annuity, it is not at risk like with the stock market.
Yeah, we can do an interest-only option where, let's say you're earning 5 or 6% a year for argument's sake, you can take that out and still leave your principal there. And
it's amazing.
Work on that. Yeah, it's a win-win.
It's absolutely amazing. And you can also leave these annuities to your kids, to your grandkids.
You don't disinherit your kids. In fact, if you take a pension election and you decide to leave your wife money, how do your kids get money? These are the things we talk about with you, and guess what, Brian? It doesn't cost you anything. The insurance companies pay us out of their pocket, not yours.
Oh, really?
Oh, yeah. So we've never discussed that, but that's how I get paid.
I did not know that.
Yeah, so people aren't paying the fee here, and there's no cost to do this. We're giving you the book for free. If you want to talk to us, you'll talk to us.
Okay, now you're actually getting two things for free. One, Joe Thomas is offering free phone consultations if you mention you heard him here on the program, but he's also offering copies of his book at no charge, Retirement Know-It-All. I'm going to give you his number. Now, if you missed the number, just go to his website, JupiterJoe.com. 561-743-0999. 561-743-0999. And again, you can also get that number at JupiterJoe.com. Get your free book and your free phone consultation. All right, Joe, it's good to see you.
Thanks, Brian. Have a great day.
All right, thanks for coming by. All right, let's go. Steve Kane back with us. Hey, Steve. Okay, now I will tell you, if you're on hold, stand by, guys. There was some action during the break, Steve. You missed some big action. I'll tell you after the show. Those watching on YouTube got to hear it, but I'll tell you after the show what happened. It was pretty interesting. I just want to clarify about this abortion issue. What I'm talking about is I'm not worried, but there's a political tactic that's going on. And the political tactic is to get Trump, Kari Lake, and other MAGA people talking like they're pro-choice, not pro-life, by saying this abortion restriction is too strict. And that's almost like a catch-22 we're in with that, okay? And I know Trump will figure out a way to get the narrative back on track with it, but that's what they're doing. That's what I'm talking about here. There's going to be a lot of dirty political tactics that the left pull. All right, let's go to our phones, 888-465-2631. You're on the air. What's your name? Where are you calling from? Hey, what's up?
Yeah, well, hearing you guys talking during the break, how this one guy, he got scared because they were playing hip-hop.
No, that's not what happened. I was Liberal Al. I'll tell you. I will tell you what happened. Liberal Al called in, and he had moved or in the area of the radio station. I had said that you're not welcome to come to the radio station because you don't, and I was very adamant about it. At the same time I said that, there was an unexpected bang on the front door of the radio station, and someone here thought that there might be something going down. We were talking about a station. I was telling about when Jerry Wichner was on the air, Steve, and at night, and the station got broken into when he was on the air. And the person told me, I've worked at every station everywhere. I've never seen that happen until you come to Miami, and it's a regular thing. So that's what happened, Jay. I know.
On the
which I thought I thought once Jerry was going to shoot me with that gun because I didn't. I made a big mistake with Jerry. Remember what? Do you know what I did? The big mistake you make with Jerry Wichner?
it's something to do with gay.
No. I did not know. I did not know he wore a toupee. And okay, and he took his hat. It kind of looks like, that lint you take out of the lint screen on your clothes dryer. It looks a little bit like that. And he was on the air before me. He had a hat on. He took his hat on. The toupee got moved, and I said, "Your hair's out of place." And I've never had a man as mad at me as with that.
Sure.
Oh my goodness, with that. Exactly. Yeah. Well, I didn't know it was a toupee until someone told me, except me. All right, you're on the air. What's your name? Where are you calling from?
Sal, and I'm calling from Boca Raton, Florida.
Hey, Sal.
And the reason I'm calling is, hi, Brian. I just love you. Anyways, and I'm sure you love your wife, but leave her. I'm available.
Oh, okay. That's nice.
Mark Elias should be arrested, and the reason is that he sued Georgia
Mm-hmm.
He sued Philadelphia to keep the right. He sued Nevada and Arizona.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Well, what I think, I don't know about arrested, but I know that what I learned about Georgia from that Fani Willis case a couple weeks ago. Not that it's corrupt, but Georgia is being run by the Black Panthers, and the Black Panthers are radical Marxist, and that judge in that Fani Willis case a couple weeks ago, I don't think it's so much that he was corrupt. I think he was scared, right? And so what I've come to realize is there's a reign of terror against a lot of the I'm not excusing their actions, but there's a reign of terror that a lot of politicians feel in Georgia, is what I'm telling you. I'm not agreeing the things that they do, but that's something I just kind of picked up with Fani Willis. So far as being arrested, I mean, I think that maybe Fani Willis should be arrested. She paid a guy $700,000 to have sex with her. Yeah, and that's a lot of money to pay someone to have sex with you, right? So I think she should be arrested.
That's my right, right.
Yeah. All right, now if
And the other thing is
Don't
I
have-
wanted to
okay.
invite Shawna it's $65 to see Dick Morris. Megyn, I'm going to as soon as I stop driving.
Oh, okay. I appreciate that. Take care. All right. I think the call might have been the plug that Dick Morris. You and I could go see Dick Morris for free, but he's a good guy. All right. Let's see what's going on. We don't have. Okay. I'll take a call first. I'll give you a second to see if that'll. You're on the air. What's your name? Where are you calling from?
Yeah, this good.
It's one call per day, Renee. Okay. You get one warning. That's it. You call again. There'll be a vacation. All right, we're going to take our break, I guess. Okay, we don't. Okay, you're going to get the. I'm going to apologize in advance, Steve. After the break, you're going to get the amateur gold report. I know, that's, which is me going to WilliamYoungerman.com and reading the numbers. We'll be right back.
The news has been so good lately.
Yep.
We'll find out
Hard.
Yep.
Truth. Delivered morning 6 to 9 right here on The Steve Kane Show.
All right. Oh.
Medical Center,
That's okay.
CFO and Director of Neuropathy. We want to welcome you to Lighthouse Medical Center this year. It's our 75th anniversary, and we've been able to help a lot of patients. We want to be able to help you with your neuropathy issues as well. You have numbness, burning.
What's that?
pain,
That's okay.
lack of
It's okay.
sleep, or balance issues. Please come see us and let us help you with that problem. There's hope out there for you. We've had thousands of patients come through Lighthouse Medical Center. Being able to see the quality improved in their life and being able to help them and their family has been a blessing to us and a blessing to them, and we look forward to doing that for the next 75 years. We don't just treat neuropathy at Lighthouse Medical Center. We have a specialized knee pain program with non-surgical solutions for bone-on-bone and knee pain issues. We also treat chronic back pain, ankle, knee, hip, and shoulder pain. Call for a free consultation with us today. 754-222-6642. 754-222-6642. That's 754-222-6642.
We take on the social justice warriors for breakfast. Now the Steve Kane Show is on the air.
All right, so the amateur gold report, which is me just going to WilliamYoungerman.com and reading it to you. The metals, Steve, are just on fire. I mean, gold right now is at $2,343.30 an ounce. It's down a little bit, $10.20, but that's not. I mean, this is a pullback of $10.20. Silver is at $28.10, down 12 cents, and platinum is at $977, even down 9. So you got a little bit of one of those buying opportunities today. But I got to tell you, gold at $2,343.30 an ounce, and I just want to tell people just quickly here about fractional gold. Now, gold comes in many forms, and you'll hear William Youngerman talk about different size bars that it comes in, and typically when we talk about gold, we talk about 1 ounce coins, 1 ounce bars. But it also comes in fractional sizes. You can buy gold in a half ounce, a quarter ounce, or even a 1/10 ounce. There's even smaller forms, but in the sovereign coins from like the U.S. Mint and the different mints of the different countries. You can buy gold also in not just 1 ounce coin size, but ½ ounce, quarter ounce, and 1/10 ounce. So there's what I'm telling you is there's gold coins if you want to get involved in gold for any budget. And the fractional gold coins are beautiful, and they're a great. If you think about it, the 10th ounce coin, Steve, you get 10 of them, you got an ounce of gold. Pretty good deal, huh? And it adds up quicker than you think. So give William Youngerman a call. And remember, with William Youngerman, no matter where you're located, you can do all your transactions over the phone and through the mail. Okay, I'm going to give you his number. He opens up at 10 a.m. 1-800-327-5010. 1-800-327-5010. Online, WilliamYoungerman.com. Now, while he's not with us here today, he is open for business, and you can stop in at 150 East Palmetto Park Road in Boca on the first floor of the Bank of America building, just east of US 1 Federal Highway, on the south side of Palmetto Park Road. All right, so getting back to the topics at hand, these different tactics that you're going to see from the Democrats, we're not just going to see the abortion. I told you reparations, they're starting to talk about that again, and legalization of recreational marijuana is another big one, okay? And there may be a couple of others. Things in this country are so bad, these are all acts of desperation, because what they're trying to do on the left, and they got a little bit of a break because the news got hijacked by the eclipse, right? Which really kind of annoyed me. The eclipse, it was only available, you could only see it in certain parts of the country. It didn't affect everybody, but they covered it a lot. And
what do they call it? They monetized it.
Well, the news spent,
Business.
yeah, the media spent 2 days on the eclipse, right? On Monday, they had the build-up, then the eclipse, and then yesterday, they had the aftermath of the eclipse. It got dark. Wow, doesn't it do that every night? I don't see the big deal. When I was a kid, things like that would get me excited, right? Oh, an eclipse. What they did with that is they had 2 days of non-political news, and then when they came back to the news, they did this pivot into this thing. But things are so bad in this country, these acts of desperation aren't going to work. Because what we were talking about earlier, the inflation, and some of here's the thing with the inflation. Sometimes there are incidents that are out of the control of a president that happen that cause inflation, right? There could be a terrorist attack, in the Middle East that slows down oil production. But I think the American people, for the first time, understand that all of these problems we're suffering from are on purpose by the president, right? Joe Biden. I give you one. I was listening, Steve, to these liberal Gen Zers doing a show, and the topic they were talking about, it seems not interesting at first, and then as they went on, I was like, they were talking about how difficult it is for these Gen Zs are younger than the millennials. These are like mid-20s and younger. How difficult it is for them to find affordable rent anywhere. And I'm like, well, who cares about rent prices? And then one of them said, yeah. And then I look at the news, and the illegals are getting free rent in New York City, and I can't afford to move out of my mom and dad's house. And then this whole discussion started about how there are and I was shocked to hear it go this way, on how there are millions, and I'll tell you how this happened in a second, which was so beautiful. There are millions and millions, tens of millions of Gen Z who typically are a safe Democrat vote that either they can't afford to move out or they're moving back home, and they see these illegals getting free rent around the country, and they're pissed. And I'll tell you how this happened. It was on a show I don't normally watch, but there was a guest on who worked for Charlie Kirk. So I said, well, let me see what they're going to talk about. And it's this girl that's with Turning Point USA. I don't know her name. She works for Charlie Kirk, and she's on this show, and they're talking about the high cost of rent, and then boom, she says, but the illegals are getting free rent in New York City. Charlie Kirk is so smart and so brilliant, and he is, obviously he's tight with Trump and works with Trump, And Charlie, and it shows you how smart Charlie Kirk is, that he got one of his spokespeople on his show to talk about rent prices and turned it into the border issue. And then, boom, it lit up a whole discussion on how pissed Gen Z are that the illegals are getting free housing when they can't move out of their parents' house. And these issues, which aren't your typical abortion, affirmative action, and things like this, the issues like the rent prices for young people, which is not typically a national election issue, is. So all this crap they're pulling isn't going to work. All acts of severe desperation. Absolutely. So so I don't have any worries about it.
Trust in the Lord, not on your own understanding.
That's right. That's right.
Yeah.
But as we get closer to the conventions, right now we're kind of in this slow period. I know it doesn't seem that way. You'll know what I'm talking about. There's a lot of issues going on, but we're going to hit warp speed over the summer when it's convention time. And when the conventions are over, it's going to be even more hardcore with the news. And what you're going to see, the build up to the conventions and then the aftermath of the conventions, you're going to
Convention itself, the Democratic convention, I'm afraid to tell you, is going to be a catastrophe.
For them, for the Democrats. The Democrat convention, which they might be trying to figure out a way not to have it. Because
I don't think they're anticipating it.
Oh.
Let me put it another way. If they are anticipating it, how bad
I'll tell you what it'll be. I'll tell you by the Palestinian Muslim supporters. There is going to be every Muslim activist in America is going to be at the Democrat convention.
You're going to be demonstrating in favor of Joe.
Against Joe. Yeah, and they're accusing him of genocide, supporting genocide. And the Democrats are not used to this. They're not. I mean, what's happening with their convention is going to be the most disastrous Democrat convention since the Vietnam era, maybe even worse, because they brought all these Muslims here, Obama and Biden. They were allies. They were supporting them, and now they've turned on them. And when they turn up at the convention, and many of them are delegates, and a lot of these districts, like where Tlaib and Ilhan Omar are from, Michigan, and that one guy that was yelling "Death to America," that's Michigan. It was in the news this week. So some of the delegations are going to be filled with these terrorist supporter and activists. And it very well could be the most disastrous convention in the history of the convention since they were broadcast live on television. Oh, yeah. So the divides inside the Democrat Party are at a level we've never seen. President Trump used to always say what you want about Democrats, they always stick together. Well, that's not the case this time around. And it's very unusual, and it's so unusual that the Democrats don't know how to react. But you don't think they see it coming? Well, they're nuts if they don't see it coming.
They don't see it coming. They don't realize that they've got a tiger by the tail here.
Yeah.
They don't know how to put it hold on.
Yeah. Well, I know what to do. Let the circus happen and watch it on TV, and and it's going to happen. Our convention, on the other hand, is not going to be smooth sailing either, Steve.
Nothing compared to the Democratic.
Oh, no. Our convention, they still have a fantasy that they can stop Trump from getting the nomination. They're still living in that fantasy, okay? They have not given up on that. Just because Trump's ahead in all the polls doesn't mean they've given up, as we've seen with these things we're discussing. But I agree with you.
The convention goes first.
Yeah, and it's going to be a disaster for them, a big disaster, and I can't wait.
It's going to be much worse than I
Mm-hmm.
Of course, the Democratic convention is where they're going to really act out.
Now, we're about out of time, but I'll just tell you, we are 17 days away from our cruise. So have you got your cruise clothes and stuff together, Steve? You started packing yet? Great. I've started packing too. I ordered some new things to take, some new shorts, because I don't really wear shorts too much, so I got some new shorts and I've already started packing. And those of you that are joining us on the cruise, if you've not done it, make sure you check in with Ian from Cruise and Travel Depot, talk to him about our shore excursions, and also make sure that you have everything squared away and that you get checked in before you go to the port. All right, that's all the time we have for today. It's the Steve Kane Show, Florida's longest-running radio show. Steve Kane, of course, has been here. My name is Brian Craig. We'll be back bright and early tomorrow morning at 6 a.m. covering all the day's news. Thanks, everyone, for tuning in. And don't forget, call Jupiter Joe Thomas and get a free copy of his book, The Retirement Know-It-All, at jupiterjoe.com. See you tomorrow.
WSFS 104.3 HD3 Miramar. WIRK 103.1.
All right, guys. I'll see you later. Take care.